won't touch it for a while. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my Saturday afternoon Maker Hangout, which I'm calling it the Jerry Show. A few people recommended it, so I changed it last week. We have a couple guests in the back room. We are live on YouTube and Twitch today, and we stream anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. Lately, it's been barely over 2 hours, but it all depends on how many people are on screen, how chat is going, and welcome. It's been a great week. Hope everybody's having a great day. See, we got a lot of people in chat. We'll talk to them in just a second. Let me pull in the people in the back room. And let's see, who was first? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That was Kenny. Hello, Kenny. How you doing?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because the way everything's been going on with my tech today, started off with this morning when I went to the VA, my truck even needed a firmware update. So that's how my day's gone.
Hey, Matt. How you doing today?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm all right. A little bit of a headache, but I'm okay.
Let's see who all we got in chat here. Joe Glasgow. Hello. Stephen Poole. Guy the Jedi. 3D Medic Vince. Denny. Hello, Denny.
All those people we need to get rid of.
Simon Snow. Hello, Simon. Jack in the shop. Hey, Jack. How you doing today?
How's everyone?
And 5WE3D. Hello. I'm not sure if I said that right.
I hear feedback.
Welcome. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'd really appreciate it. If you have an Amazon Prime and you're on Twitch, you can donate that to your favorite streamer once a month, and that'd be really awesome if you subscribe. I've got a total of 4 subscribers right now on Twitch and trying to grow Twitch as I grow YouTube. But what's going on, everybody? How you been?
I'm all right.
Yeah, Kenny still got feedback. He'll work on it. So you don't need to remind him in chat. We all hear it.
Feedback?
Yeah, we hear ourselves talking.
What if I step back away from my speaker?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I
still hear it.
I don't know.
What's going on with my tech today?
Let's see. Okay, I reduced your background noise in your mic. Let's see if that helps. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's still there. No worries.
I think I know what's going on. Hold on.
Hey, Pete.
How about now?
You doing today? Testing 1, 2, 3. I can hear it. Jenny says, congrats on the collab, Matt.
What?
You collaborated with somebody on something?
I collaborated with a lot of people, so I don't know which one you're talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the one and only 1977 all-out Vincent popping in. Vincent.
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing?
Okay, busy. Busy working on my Pi server rack.
I like Pi. Raspberry especially. I get it at the store all the time.
Oh, Polymaker. Talking about Polymaker, Matt.
Oh,
like this.
I'm with Polymaker for a long time.
Here we go. There, I'll make you big in case somebody's watching on their phone.
Hold on.
Oh, looking good.
This one just came off the printer.
I've been partner with collaborate with Polymaker for at least now 7-8 months. So, yeah, new one. What I have with everyone.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear back from Nick. I messaged him on Discord.
Can you mute?
Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm going through my laptop for Mike.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah,
you can hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you fine, but every time we talk, we're hearing echo.
I got my echo turned off on my end.
Here, let me mute you and I'll try it again. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Yeah. Kenny's in.
Kenny, is your Twitch still open?
I'm not using Twitch. I'm using YouTube.
Okay. Turn the volume from YouTube open.
Mute YouTube.
No.
Mute your.
Oh, I still got Facebook open. Okay, I just closed Facebook. How about
That's
now?
one,
Two?
Yeah, I'm not on. I'm on bring the Facebook.
No, that's how I get the link.
You should only have StreamYard open on your desktop.
That's all I got open.
Huh? I don't know. Oh well, thank you so much, Chris, for resubscribing on Twitch. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Jack says Kenny has an Echo Master Pro.
Okay, I just turn off echo cancellation. What about now?
Now your volume's really low. Hold on, let me go turn your. Don't do it. Let me turn your volume up. Say something.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you're really low.
I'm going through the.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's picking up your sound, but your volume's really low. And in StreamYard, I cranked you all the way up. I don't know.
How about now?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can still hear myself. And your
Testing
volume's
1,
real
2,
low.
3.
That's better.
All right, I just cranked it on the mic, and I'm on laptop speakers and mic.
Yeah, but we're still. Yeah. Every time I say a word, it repeats.
It's getting annoying.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Marcus popping in. Ethan's dad, 3D.
Howdy.
Hey,
Just
Marcus.
mute yourself, and every time you talk, unmute yourself.
Yeah, Kenny, mute yourself, and when you want to talk, unmute it. There you go.
Thank
Hey,
you,
Marcus, how
Kenny.
you doing?
All right.
Sorry.
Just trying to work out some technical difficulties. Been a long time, buddy. How's your family doing? How's your son doing? How's the business going?
The business is declining. Like, we're really struggling to pay for. Well, Ethan's older brother just started college this fall, and so we're struggling to help him pay for college. But other than that, everyone's doing great. Ethan's a sophomore this year. He had a cross country meet today.
Oh, nice.
And he started his first programming class in high school. It's game development. He's learning Unity, so that's exciting.
Very cool.
Cool.
And everyone's doing good, except we kind of miss Nick, our older son. He's in Bowling Green State University in Ohio.
Well, he'll be back for on vacations, right? Holidays?
Yeah, I'll be coming back in November, for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So how are you guys?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm making a mushroom for a family member of mine.
That's neat. What is that? Is it from something like a game or something?
Hey, Darth Gallon.
Similar to Pokemon, I almost wanted to say Mario, but I just have to print out now the white bits or the what color she wanted, lavender color. So I'm gonna put what I have right now on lavender.
Neat.
I don't think it's gonna be much of a difference between pink and purple. So.
Do you design that too?
Yeah, money box.
Oh, neat.
Well, the original design is from what's his name? 3D Printy. He has several files of mushrooms, and you have to look at the mushroom files. And one of the mushroom files are allowed to sell and allowed to modify. And I use that one. So
I got a question, Matt.
Yeah.
The skull with the bullets in the head, you designed the bullets from scratch, right?
No. I had it ready made, what I made for like a couple of years ago.
Did you design the skull from scratch?
Was in the program inside what I had.
Okay, so it was built into the program, so it wasn't somebody else's file that you modified.
No.
Okay, because then I would say if it was, it'd be a remix.
No. It comes from everything. One file is my file I made several years ago, and the bullets and the score comes from the program I'm using.
Okay.
3D Builder.
Okay, no worries.
So
I was just curious if it was a remix.
Well, this is the remix, but I don't use it to like put it out the file online.
Okay.
This one is my file because I put this in, and I modified the bottom too. So this have a slighter edge to it, so you don't get the. Every time when you print on certain printers, you get like hot lines, I call them.
You do it. What's going on, buddy? How you been?
On the bottom, they basically create like layer lines, and it looks very nasty. It's almost like you need support for that area, but you don't need support. It's just a cooling problem. And yeah, I found out that you just have to angle the area in a certain way, and then you don't have to need to have any support or anything else. And I think it was a 25-degree angle or 45-degree angle. So yeah.
If I have any trouble with resin printing, and I usually don't, I can ask Akuma Mods. I can look at the little statue here and ask the resin 3D printing god what he thinks of my work. So, got a little Matt Farmer here.
So did you print that too?
The Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments. What they say: do not pay false idol to false god. I know he's the resin god, but
I think Jerry's catching up. If Akuma is the resin god, then Jerry's probably the demigod.
Matt's got like 100-something bottles of resin. He has probably 20 resin printers, so he definitely dwarfs me. Or I'm that kind of stuff. But I got tons and tons and tons of resin prints. What's up, Buggy? Let me pick up my big alien.
Looks good, Kenny.
The video I did on this, I had a stick supporting the alien because it was so heavy, leaning forward. And one person on my channel said, "Why don't you just print an egg and put it in the leg?" So I reprinted one of the alien eggs, and I put it underneath the leg to support it.
Oh, good idea.
But Mother Alien from Wicked 3D, this thing's pretty heavy. The base was FDM, the alien and everything else was done in resin.
Yeah, you're making me really nervous.
What do you mean?
Holding that.
Oh, if I drop it?
Drop it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jerry.
Did you add in any tenacious to make it tougher in case you do drop it?
That'll be okay. Then I'm working on Ripley. I'm not done painting her, but I'm working on her.
That's interesting.
And Ripley goes in the power loader. Oh.
Is that from number 3?
Yeah, I believe so. Alien 3. Aliens. I have the movie. I've been watching it. But I got on Amazon. I found a can of Caterpillar Yellow. So I was able to paint this Caterpillar Yellow. And I just got to slowly assemble it. Oh, anyway, it's getting there. And then I got Bishop and the egg, which you've seen before. But here's Bishop. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I like Bishop.
It actually looks like him.
Yep.
And then this is just a couple eggs here. Got the critter coming out of it. Face hugger. It's been primed, not painted, obviously.
I want him as a pet.
I really like that movie, but I gotta tell you, the first time I watched it, I was way too young.
Yeah, me too.
Let me go back to Chad here. Hello, Roger Brown. How are you doing? Evil Ash. Yeah, I don't want to drop it. I'd probably cry. I'd say all kinds of choice.
Cry you will, I say.
Yeah. Let me change camera here.
3 days.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done a video on alien.
Not bad, huh?
Hello, Derek.
Hey, tripod.
And he's heavy.
Nice.
So Kenny, is that resin?
Yes. 100%.
No, you haul
Am I
it.
still echoing?
Yes.
We're echoing. You're not echoing, but everybody else is echoing on your feed. I don't know. Anyway, in the Aliens movie, when she's in the power loader and she's smacking the alien, she goes, "Get away from her, you bitch!" I left that in my video because that was a really cool scene. So,
Hey, Sebastian. Any cubic ultra clean resin? No, I never have worked with it yet. I want to get the new curing station, the washing station. I want to get.
the only problem I have with that is when you hollow your prints, you will have to use another container to pre-rinse them before you put them in it, because that you can't pre-rinse them inside the model. I watched a video on it this morning. They're going to be sending me one out here soon, but you spray them. You can't clean out the inside of the print with that new wash and cure, because you'd have to submerge the part in resin in IPA and douse it. Go ahead.
Isn't there a little tube where it sprays out of, and you can take off the spray nozzle head, and then you should be able to put the hose directly into the print itself, I think. I'm not sure.
I didn't see that, but typically a print will have a lot of resin in it. And one thing about my regular anti-cubic wash and cure, if I don't do a pre-wash in like mean green or something else in my ultrasonic cleaner or a different tub, I pollute my big container of IPA, because all that resin, when I just throw the part straight in there, if I'm in a hurry and I douse it and let it run out the drain holes numerous times to clean it out, I just pollute my IPA really bad. So I don't very often, but I should pre-wash them to clean out the inside. But for minis or solid prints, it's a great, awesome idea that they got.
Hey, magnificent username guy.
So, 3 more of these and then I'm done.
Hello, how you doing?
And
Sorry.
This is supposed to be.
Keep holding it. I'm trying to switch cameras here.
Hold on.
Magnificent username guy. We are here. We see you and we read all the comments. If we skip chat for some reason, we do all read comments and we are live. Cool. Is that a Pi 3B or 4?
This one is a 3B plus, and the other ones that I got is 4.
I got a bunch of 3B pluses I want to sell that I have online for sale, but never sold them. They were cannon kits.
I've seen them. I can buy them now these days again, but the prices went up, way up.
When I originally bought the cannon kits, what they were called, in a yellow box, they came with a power supply SD card. They're like $80 on Amazon.
Yeah,
that was pre-pandemic.
Something like that. Yeah. So now is it without power supply, only the Pi itself? It's about for the 3B plus, if you can get it still, it's about €80.
Yeah, speaking of dad jokes, I was on YouTube a couple nights ago, right before I went to bed. It's like, I don't know, around midnight. I'm on a YouTube channel, and there's 2 people. There's a man and woman here and a man and woman here, and they're telling dad jokes. And the whole theme of it is to not laugh. And after the first 2 jokes, I almost got the hiccups. So I had to change the channel because I don't want to go to bed with the hiccups. So, yeah, I was just busting up. It's pretty hilarious.
That's good.
And Edge of, what's his name? Jonathan from The Next Layer put out an awesome video like Sam Prentice is working on now, where he went to China. They paid for the trip, and he's going through all the different factories. And he had a video out this morning. It was awesome. I shared it on socials. And then I messaged him in his chat if he had time to drop in. But he lives in Israel, and it's like midnight his time right now, or I guess 12:30 or so. So he may or may not pop in.
Who did you say it was that had the video?
The Next Layer, Jonathan.
Is he on YouTube?
Yeah. The Next Layer is a great channel. He does a lot of great reviews on products, and I shared it out on my socials, on my group, my page, and on X. Well, I'm going to say Twitter, but X. I shared out the link to that video where he's going to PCBWay, Bamboo Labs, Anycubic, Creality, and yeah, really cool.
Yeah, Jerry, I was working on that Gridfinity stuff that was online the last time.
Okay.
This was my own design sized, but I have grids underneath it now, so it cannot move anymore. Downloaded it.
Very cool.
Still need a handle, because when this is full, it's hard to grab it like this. Yeah.
You could make those compartments shorter, I guess.
Awesome. I'm glad you got it.
But it cleans up the place a little bit. I've been running the K1 hard for the past week, so had no failures, no problems, nothing yet. So the printer is running, and I hope it will keep on running like this. So yeah, that's what I've been basically been doing. And the last bit of the customer, you ordered another 200. So I 3D printed that, and still have to do some cleanup work.
How's that K1 running for you?
Very good. So far, it's a real good machine. I had no problems. No. One time the filament broke off. I think that there was a nut in the spool itself, so it completely ripped it off in the Bowden tube. But outer bed leveling, everything. There's one thing I'm looking in the software is I'm trying to remove the time lapses in the software, because the machine saves it and it's getting full. So that's a problem. I cannot find it. I cannot get it out. I checked it on the internet. Checked it in the the book that I got with it. Cannot find it. And if I go in time-lapse videos in the software and I press delete, it stays in. Cannot get it out.
Wow, I don't know.
So that's an issue.
Did you look for hidden files?
I checked everything in the machine, and also on the software through the PC itself and in the app. Couldn't find anything to remove it in a different way.
Check a Facebook group, ask a question, go to a YouTube video where somebody reviewed it, mention it in comments, and see if they respond to you.
Yeah, I found it out today, so I did not have time for it yet, but I'm gonna do that. Thank you.
That's neat, Matt.
Looks nice.
That's for his shroom bill.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
JRT 3D, hello. How are you doing today?
That's the one you were talking about, right? I released this model file.
That's really neat.
And that's the first one I did. And that's the second one I did.
Is it brilliant?
So,
did you come up with that idea?
No, I saw somebody else do the same thing. So I just copied him.
I see that and I think of Burning Man.
That's very punk.
They got
rock.
rained. They got rained out.
I don't think it's called. I don't think it's called a punk bit. Who did the other one? He's a very famous guy, and I forgot his name. He did the punk. He did several other designs. His designs are beautiful, better than mine. And his bullets look real too, not like mine. Like little bit, like you see the edging on it, on my bullets.
Yeah, JRT 3D. I watched a bunch of videos on Burning Man. They got rained out. One lady, I was watching her videos called the Something Hussey's her name, her channel, and I guess it cost her $1,000 just to go there and fees. Aside from you got to pay to drive your gas and everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the one and the only, the real Sam Prentice dropping in.
Hi, Sam.
Scary stuff, isn't it? It's the Jerry. The Jerry is there. How's it going?
Yeah, I seen that
The
on
real
Crowley.
Sam
It was
Prentice.
funny. The Jerry. Oh, the Jerry's in chat. The Jerry.
It was good. It was very, very funny, actually. Very, very funny. Good
Looks
times.
like you guys had a blast. Awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing. And one of the really sort of takeaway situations from it, I guess, was that I think ultimately I went there with a stereotypical view of what China and the Chinese factories are going to be, and what it ended up being was nothing like I expected. And I think, you know, I was a bit embarrassed by my actual thoughts on it. Really, I was going to see some certain things, and I wasn't going to agree with certain stuff. And actually, it was way better than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, you know, really.
So
great.
they're using more whips over there?
No, not
So
at all.
encourage
Not
their
at all.
employees?
Like,
Well,
not at all. They, you know,
think-
I had a comment from somebody, and they said, "Oh, show us the facility, show us what their daily routine is." And I was like, "Dude, I was in the warehouse with these guys, and then we ate together in the canteen. You know, they're not, you know, it's nothing like, you know. I think when somebody says, or the media says, it's a sweatshop, or it's this, or it's that." I'm imagining that in any place there's always going to be certain things like that, but certainly not at the factories that I was exposed to. And you know, there's no way that the you know, we had like 800 K1 printers in one particular position, and there's no way you can fake what they were doing there. You know, it was very plausible stuff, and you just couldn't fake what they were up to there. There's no way that they could set it up just for a YouTuber to come in and just muck about, you know.
All green screen, right?
Where
exactly.
were you at when the hurricane hit? I know Scott was at the airport and hunkered down in a hotel.
I was getting drunk with Ben Boy in Space.
Okay.
So you know,
Oh,
yeah.
he's trouble.
Anyway.
Did he get a tattoo? No way.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Another guy had one on his arm, the real Sam Prentice on his arm.
I hate elsewhere. He also got a tattoo
If
on.
Otis.
Yeah, Ben got my Twitter, my username handle on his arm, and I got the Boy in Space logo on the back of my arm. So, you know, he's a man of his word. You know, he's a credible guy, and you know, sometimes when you just meet with somebody and you're talking to them and you just get on really well, it kind of felt like that. And you know, what happened. But we drank a lot. And then we got up in the next day and we went to the tattoo parlor. But yeah, when the typhoon hit, it was kind of like I was at that position where I was like, I just want to get home now. You know, we've been here for a long time. There's quite a few stressful like turns of events, but it was kind of like a storm in a teacup, really. But I mean, one of the bad things about China is that when there is horrific rain like that, all the drains and all the sewage floods. So all of a sudden, you're kind of involved with streets that are laden with turds. You know, it's not particularly nice. But you know, other than that, you know, it is hurricane, tornado, whatever you want to call it, typhoon season. That's what they've got. And I think yesterday they had major floodings at one part or several parts of China. So they're in some quite bad situations at the moment. But yeah, as I say, that we filmed a ton of content. I mean, I must have got 5 terabytes of footage over the period of time we were there. We saw a ton of people, but you got to remember that Shenzhen isn't like, you know, I kind of figured it was going to be relatively small, but as in small as in, you know, it might take you an hour to get across London, but you can get across with that place. It's huge. The city is massive. And talk about things like preconceived notions. When Creality said, "Hey, we want you to visit our factory in Wuhan," I was like, you know, like, okay, like what? When you imagine it, what do you think it's going to be? And of course, the media paints a picture of this kind of dank, dirty place full of wet markets. You're going to get COVID. They're eating bats, whatever, you know. And actually, Wuhan is 4.2 times larger than Shenzhen, and it's a huge happening city. And yeah, I had a lot of fun there as well. So
and you got scooters everywhere, like ants going every which way, and God forbid you don't get run over.
It's bonkers. How they operate. I mean, the funny thing is that everybody is just on the horn the entire time, and it's a bit of a culture shock, especially as if you start beeping people like that in the UK, you're very, very likely to then get into an altercation and probably have a fist fight. So to be in a country where everything is so different, it's almost like a parallel universe. There are some similarities like Starbucks and stuff and the spoken language, but other than that, there's a lot of kind of generic stuff that you kind of take for granted in your own country, in your own comfort. And yeah, like I say, just an amazing experience. And that's not even it yet, because I'm going to Munich on Wednesday. I'm hosting a Creality event then I'm going to Earth in the States, and then I'm hosting a Creality event there, and then I'm back to China next year. So it's going to be...
I guess you ate a lot of interesting food. It's nothing like American Chinese, but...
No, I mean, there was some stuff I was just like, I was really concerned, because I was like, if I eat something that doesn't agree with me, then I'm filming the next day, then I'm just going to be in a mess. Instead, I had a lot of cocktails one particular night, and then I interviewed the CEO the very next day, and I was hanging. And I thought I'm literally here with this guy, and I thought, I'm going to throw up in this guy's face. This multi-millionaire Chinese businessman, I'm asking him these questions, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm about to barf all over this guy. And luckily enough, all the bosses in China, if you're a big boss in China, you've got a tea table. Okay. So the interesting thing about Creality is basically whenever we went into a meeting, there's a guy that comes in, his name's Star. He comes in and makes tea. And we were just like, oh, okay, this guy just comes in and makes tea. But every meeting we went into, he was there almost like our security guy, making us tea. And he made this tea for me, and within about 3 or 4 small cups of it, I was like, actually, I don't feel that bad now. The hangover, it was like a hangover cure for bosses. I don't know, but yeah. So, and that was Mr. Al that we interviewed at that point, and he's flying to Germany. He's going to be in Munich. So yeah, it's cool. You've made some good connections. Bamboo Land.
You need a German translator. I'm here.
Well,
you speak German, Matt? German?
Yeah.
the awkwardness of that, of course, Matt, is you don't speak Chinese. And so I tell you what, right? So we're doing this interview, and maybe the interview could have been like 20 minutes, but it ended up being well over an hour, because by the time I say my bit, it's been translated. He then replies, then it's been translated back to me. We get into this kind of real, like, long conversation. You kind of almost forget what the question was to start with, because it's by the time you've managed to answer it and replied and all the rest of it, it's kind of like, where's the relevance of it? But we asked some really difficult questions, and I'm pretty sure if Scott's been on, he would have told you, things like the GPL licensing and why is Creality, felt that it's okay since 2018 to infringe on these processes. And actually, he had some, plausible answers to each of the questions, and I think that's all right. I think if he had avoided it and kicked me out, I think that would have been a different situation. But very humble answers to the questions, and cultural differences, I think, is really key there. One of the things you might have seen on Twitter, I got flamed for my support, whatever you want to call it, of Creality and not Naomi Wu, and I was this and I was that from some guy. And then Naomi, she's been really sweet. And even before that kicked off, she'd been in contact with me. She knew I was coming over. And she helped us out like a lot with the information that we were going to need, being a Westerner in China. And everything that she did was just brilliant. But she's keeping a low profile, and she's got her own personal stuff to deal with. So
the government shut her down on YouTube pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. And what probably she doesn't need is some idiot going on Twitter and hammering on me for stuff that clearly he doesn't understand. So it was a bit of a shame when that kind of happened, but it is what it is. You roll with the punches, I suppose. But everything else though has been exceptional.
Jonathan from the Next Layer was over there. Did you happen to meet him?
I saw him from afar.
Okay. He put out a video this morning covering a lot of the places you and Scott went. It was a great video. And I messaged him about dropping in, but he's in Israel, and the time difference is like 1:00 in the morning, his time right now. And he said he would try to make it, but may not.
Well, there's no excuses. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So Sam, I have a question for you. When you edit that footage, when you're doing the interviews, do you think you'll include the part where they're speaking Chinese so that full transparency, or you think you edit it out for like brevity?
Great question, actually, because really what I wanted to do, a couple of the interviews were kind of just sprung on us. So we had, so our contact at Creality, she was just like, how do you want to do this? And I went, from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the evening, I want a full itinerary of what we can do in any given day. And like military kind of precision, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that. And things change, that's just the way it goes. And we were, that was the Monday where I had this huge hangover from the Sunday. I went a bit too mad. I'm not going to lie. I was regretting it. But we had the humidity and the heat there is so dramatic. And we were outside for about an hour. And I felt okay when I got up. But after sitting in this heat for an hour, I was like, I feel really rough. Then we got into a meeting about something else and another marketing meeting or a product meeting, whatever that was. And I felt okay through that, drinking on water and stuff. And then we got into this meeting, and really what I wanted was a camera on him and a camera on me. And we actually interviewed two of the CEOs that were there, kind of different questions. And, the directors are doing different things. So what I would have liked to have happened is the guy, the director that I'm talking to, we would have probably had somebody do a voiceover in English. So he would be speaking, but ultimately there'd be a translation at that point. What we ended up with, though, unfortunately, was, this kind of disparaging, kind of weird conversation where I'm looking at him, he's speaking to me in Chinese, and I'm nodding along, like agreeing with him, although I don't know what he's saying. So it's a shame, really. And I think, if you don't know the story on how this kind of all came to be, it's not a very interesting one particularly, but I had a problem with my K1. Being a content creator, I reported back on that. I said, this is not a great machine. I don't know why it's not a great machine, but it's not. And then they were like, do you know what? We want to show you exactly what we're doing there. And I've got to say, there are a handful of people out there, probably a couple of hundred, I would say, that probably have got problems with K1s. That's a given, but there are certainly going to be thousands of machines out there now that are working, and no one's saying anything because they haven't got a problem with it. So that's the same across all the boards. People
so
generally.
You got to work on one of the K1s. I see you autographed a box. Scott said you might have broke the printer. How'd that go?
I didn't quite break the printer. So we did these little. I had this pitch, and my pitch was like, every time we go somewhere, I would like to do the things that they're doing.
And one, yeah.
So whatever the factory people are doing, no one's any better than the job that you do. It is what it is. And I was like, put me on the production line and I'll have a crack at it. Now, there's a couple of issues with that. Number one, it turns out that I'm not as good at 3D printing building that as I thought I might have been. Point in case. Second of all, I actually became quite nervous because these people, this particular woman, she had done probably 12,000 of these printers. Okay. And I rock up, there's all these cameras on me. And then there's probably about 20 people, like managers and stuff, stood there watching me as I'm trying to put a sticker on the bottom of a printer. And it sort of just dawned on me that all of a sudden the pressure was really on inside this factory where everybody's looking like, what are you doing, mate? Why are you doing this? And we had this thing, and Scott might have already told you, but they plonked this base down and you had to do like a series of things in a certain way. And I was doing it, but the way that she does it is different to the way I do it. And there's a jig and there's a few other things. So I'm putting the power supply in, I'm putting the screws in and all that. And what she does is she comes over and she moves it and she switches it around the other way. And then I do a couple more things. Then she switches it around the other way. So I've got her hands basically doing the turning while I do things. Then the series of these unfortunate things happen where I'm like, we're unloading this truck to load up a pallet of Ender 3 V3 SEs. And I'm thinking I'm doing a great job and I'm loading the pallet up. And as we go to walk away, they basically unpack the pallet and stack all the stuff up the correct way around. Because, of course, nobody told me that it was supposed to be, this side round or whatever. They pack it in a particular way. So, I kind of ended up being a fool, but that's okay because I'm fine with that because it was funny. So for the comedy.
And then Scott said you guys got off the airplane at the airport, and that sign that's behind you, they were all over the place, I guess. He said all over the city.
Yeah, we had some fun with that, and Tripod still hasn't had his autograph K1. Yeah, so we did it. We did we did this thing where we basically followed the printer out, and then we signed the box. And they Dennis is kind of like the warehouse guy, and he was like, "Hey, you got to come over. This is the printer. We've pulled it out." But everything is it's pretty bizarre. You know, when people say, literally that day, I read a Facebook comment or a tweet or whatever it was, and someone went, "Well, of course, Creality don't make their own filament." You know, there's these throwaway, stereotypical comments that people think certain companies don't do certain things. Creality do make a lot of their own filament. I'm not saying they make all of their own filament, but I've been to the factory and I've seen the filament machines and I understood the process. And the really cool thing about that particular thing was the guy that runs the filament factory loves his job. And even in Chinese, he was so happy. And so you could just tell how much he loved it. And he wanted to show people how it works. And he was enormously proud of the output and what his machines did. So, you know, there's an enormous sense of pride. But Creality have got these machines, you know, like the V-slot wheels. They've got V-slot wheel making machines. They've got all this kind of crazy, like, robotic stuff. And people are saying, "Oh, my K1's skew." Well, here's the thing. I've seen a machine that basically makes sure that everything is straight and aligned. So they've got a robot that basically screws all the screws in and aligns the printers. So, you know, I'm doing a video now on the CR10, and you'll see there's an extract in that where you see a drop test. So when they put all the stuff into boxes, it goes onto
Somebody's messing with plastic or something.
Okay.
Crackling.
So it goes onto a machine, and you hit a button and it falls on the floor. So it's basically a drop test. Then it goes onto this like huge bed thing, and then it gets swept around, and then that machine is then unpacked, and then it goes into a test lab, and they basically test the printer after it's been dropped a dozen times and it's been shaken around for 2 hours. So, you know, when people say, "Oh, there's no quality control," and actually, you know, Creality don't do this and they don't do that. Sorry, guys, they do. They do. And
of course they do. That's why things are glued on the board. That's why they're packed so well. Because here in the U.S., every carrier we have, other than Amazon, abuses the boxes and throws things around. The only company that I've ever had delivered on my front door I really like is Amazon. But you know,
but I mean, but you know, the long and short of this is that actually, I know I had a preconceived notion of something that was one thing, and it actually ended up being something quite different. I've maybe got a newfound respect for Creality, because I think people are assuming now, because I'm doing a lot of work for them. At the end of the day, if you're offered work, why would you say no to it? So I'm not saying no, but I also went and saw Anycubic, I saw Bamboo Lab, I saw Uniformation, I saw iWe Color, I saw, you know, a bunch of different companies.
Spring.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Spring was quite energetic. It's sort of in the name, I guess. And yeah, we hit it off with her. She got quite drunk actually as well. That was kind of
Yeah, I know. She told me about it.
What is your work week?
Sorry.
Somebody said, what were you drinking? What does her work week look like? Like 10 or 12-hour days?
What was I drinking? What was she drinking? She was drinking like a whiskey, I think, because the thing is they shut down the entire city, right? So this typhoon thing came in. They like sticking like tape on the windows and batting down the hatches and all that kind of stuff. And,
Kate, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the $20 super chat. I really, really appreciate that, and I got a button for that. I'm going to interrupt everybody and hit my button. If I can
Super chat.
Awesome. Super chat.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. So it was, as I say, so the drink of choice for me is the Long Island iced teas. I had 4 very strong ones, and that was quite a thing. But yeah, we were drinking like whiskey and stuff that night, and yeah, Spring. I'm surprised she made it home.
Did you have any time to do any just kind of wandering around, or was everything choreographed and you went from one place to another because of time restraints?
Yeah, we were. I mean, again, there were probably 20 companies that I didn't get to see.
Okay.
And that was, you know, mainly down to logistics, because we didn't quite realize how far away some stuff was going to be. And we sort of thought, well, maybe we could do a day of Creality, and then in the evening, then we can go and do another shoot on something else. And that was just an impossible task, really. There was just no way that, you know, it was going to happen. But, you know, Big Tree Tech, LDO. There was just a ton of companies that we were like, we want to get to see you, but it's just not going to happen this time. And then, at the end of the trip, we sat down with Creality again, and they were like, really love what you're about, love what you're doing. The live streams were just totally off the hook. And of course, one of the CEOs of the company was also watching the live streams, and he was like feeding back on it, and making comments back to the internal team on their groups and stuff. Because whenever you do a live stream, there's a team of other people that are there, and they're filtrating information and trying to work stuff out. And then, of course, on top of that, you've got me basically trying to give stuff away.
You and Nick were on their stream, and you had to get security's permission. You kept trying to give stuff away. They're like, no, stop.
It was really funny. Is when Nick says, how many people on the stream? Like 200. And then he goes, right, we're going to give away 90 spools of filament. Good luck with that. And then they said, what are you going to give away? And Creality go, 3 spools. And I was just like, no, we're giving away a printer. That's happening. I think if it had got funny and there would have been something like we're not able to do that, I'd have gone like, yes, we're doing it, and I'll pay for the printer, because it was just that much fun. It was just worth it.
Since that live stream, I've been communicating with Zora through email. I'm attempting to try to get to review a K1 Max. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm trying. So
yeah, I mean, the funny thing is with all that stuff, Jerry, and as I said to you before, you're dealing with marketing people. They're not the influencers. And of course, I was trying to push really hard about getting this kind of influencer program up and running, and talking about that. And we had all sorts of weird and wonderful meetings. I was pulled into strange meetings about various things that I was like, why am I in this meeting? What's this all about? And they just wanted like a Westerner's view on stuff. And again, a lot of the stuff that we butt heads with is down to communication and essentially the difference between the West and the East. Really and truly, I think Creality they've still got problems. And by the last kind of night that I was there and I was talking to the marketing people, I was like, well, look, here are the problems that you've got. You need to try and overcome these. You've become a victim of your own success in some ways. And then did you fold? Yeah, he is. He's a bit wonky, but the reason he's here is because there's a printer behind him that I'm not allowed to show you yet. So it is what it is. So it was a really interesting time. And now, of course, I've got this thing in Germany, and then I'm literally then flying out to the States like a week or so later for Earth. So to go and see my buddy, Mr. Tripod, my taxi driver, Mr. Tripod.
Very cool. Yeah, that's at the last day of the month, I believe, isn't it? First of next month.
Yeah, it is. But of course, I'm flying out a little bit earlier with with John. We're probably going to do some rooms.
Can I ask you a question? Now, you don't have to answer this. Is that secret printer behind you? Is that from a company called Bamboo?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what that's all about.
I think it's going to be a bit of a surprise, and I was quite impressed with it. It's not something that makes me overly happy about it, but at the same time, there are some genius things that the engineers have done on this printer or this device, and there's a lot of hype around it, and I think that's a nice thing. I think that's so the weird thing was we were just going to see Dora. We weren't going there for filming or anything, and we didn't film at Bamboo Lab. So as you know, Dora used to work for Focus. I knew her through that. And I messaged her and I was like, look, I'm in town. Can we meet? I also messaged the lady that I deal with who deals with Bamboo marketing and stuff. And she was like, yeah, we can do this. But Mr. Tao's not there. So I was like, okay, no worries. Anyway, so we're just in this meeting. And there is a big black tarp over what's obviously the printer. And the engineers and everybody come in, and it's like, okay, so we're sitting down, we're talking about stuff, why I'm here, why I'm in Shenzhen, da 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 da. And Mr. Tao comes walking in, and he's a clued up dude. He is, very much the leader at Bamboo Lab, and had some really great conversations with him. And then I just went, come on then, let's have a look, and then they just pulled the thing back and we were like, amazing. So
when he walks in, does everybody bow to him or just say hi? Is everybody
is really funny actually, because you feel compelled to do the same. So we were all on the floor, literally, and he put his hand out and we kissed his ring. No, Jerry, that's we shook his hand, my friend. We shook his hands.
All right.
Yeah. So here's a bamboo fact, right? Can you hear the printer? Because whatever that noise is in the background is not a bamboo printer.
I know. I know what's about, but I can't say anything. So
silence, mate.
Okay. All I can say is read what it says, what it released already. Like on the commercial, I almost wanted to say. It says a printer for everyone or something like this.
Yeah. Well, Nathan Hill's Robot's done a video on what he thinks. It was pretty interesting. He was talking about the pictures and what he got from it.
So that's a clue in that. So.
Who did you say?
There's a picture of the bamboo, which looks like a color mixing head. Well, you can't say anything, but that looks to me like in the video and the pictures, it's a color mixing head that's got four colors coming into the extruder, and it's mixing in the extruder for your model. That way you don't have all that waste and stuff and all the retraction and then et cetera, et cetera. But you have to wait and see.
Have to wait and see.
Yeah, don't say anything to get yourself in trouble.
The weird thing about, so I will tell you one thing, that my experience with Bamboo Lab, and as you will remember, there was a bit of a huge mocking inside of this, inside of the influencer programs, because I was one person that just didn't get one. I didn't get a look in. They knew who I was, etc., etc. They were kind of interested, but it never happened. And then it happened. And the key difference between Bamboo Lab and Creality is Bamboo Lab have never asked me to review a 3D printer for them. And they've never, I had an NDA with them to start with. But for this one, there was no NDA. It's just trust. Whereas Creality got me to sign a $10,000 NDA for 3D printers that they are already talking about. So go figure.
Wow.
Go figure. That makes no sense.
No, and it was kind of weird because, even though we signed the NDA with Creality, they were like, "Oh, you still can't film on this printer, and you still can't film on that printer." And I was like, "Okay, but it says it in the contract that we can." And they were just, I don't know, it was just like we had when I was in Wuhan, we were in this lab, and you can just imagine that there's a printer there that you could live inside of, right? That Creality have built. It's not commercially available. It may never ever be seen by anybody. Ever. And they were like, you can't shoot on that. And I went, no. And I said, I wouldn't. And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, first of all, it's printing in thin air. There's nothing coming out of it. There's a nozzle block for a start. Okay. Then we move around to other bit. This woman comes up and she just starts going bananas. We're like, what the hell's her problem? And she wasn't informed that we were coming into film. So she is just trying to shut everything down. My camera's gone sort of down on the floor, just pointing it down. Don't want anyone to see what we're doing. While there's this kind of argument for about 20 minutes on proving that we're supposed to be there and we're not just rocking up and just filming in a off-site lab that we should.
So they're yelling at each other in Chinese, pointing at the white guys in the corner or something.
Yeah, well, in that particular point, I was kind of like the odd one out because I was the only white guy that's Western there, yeah. And everybody else is Chinese. So I'm just I don't even know what's going on. And okay then.
Well, so, Richard.
Yeah, really bizarre. Really, really bizarre.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah, that was really cool. They had that trade show, and you sent me that picture where Anycubic Spring contacted me, and I was one of 10 people. They want to do a thank you video. So that was really cool to see that on the big screen at the trade show. I've seen Phil 3DP UK was there on it. and me, and then a bunch of other makers, maybe like 10 people. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I don't know how many people there were. There was certainly me. There was another guy with a beard. I don't know who he was.
Yeah, you were at the end of it. You were there too. And then Matt Farmer was there. What was on it?
Yeah, Matt Farmer was there. And again, like I say, it's really, really, really quite odd because, the Creality people that I was, so basically what happened is as soon as we got there, Creality, like we had a handler. So there was somebody that was kind of with us like in the entire time. And, the Anycubic people that flew in. So Anycubic, so what actually happened was I got back from the States after doing the Creality Murph event. And unbeknown to a lot of other people there, Amazon were also shooting some footage.
One sec. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the one and only Tripod's Garage. John.
Hey, John.
And now everyone leaves.
Yeah.
Bye.
See?
How are you today? How are you doing today?
Just working on the laser and listening to you guys. Well, listening to Sam.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been rambling on for the past 45 minutes.
I know, I'm excited.
It was making me so interested. I actually super glued my finger to this thing.
Did you lose much skin?
What is it? Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a laser cut, lots of pieces to super glue together. But
it looks like it's resin printed. That's laser.
Yeah, that was done with the Wakey Cloud CO2.
Oh wow! So that's all it's plexiglass.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It came out pretty good.
You would have never guessed that it was like, cut on laser and then assembled.
Yeah, it came out pretty good. So, not too bad. So I figured I might as well have some type of project that I did on a review. So, but yeah, Mr. Sam traveling. So I have to make sure the truck is ready for the road trip for you.
Thanks, mate. I'm gonna have to have my heated pillows in the back.
Well,
so Sam gets to sleep while John drives. Is that how it goes?
Sam, how much of the food did you enjoy versus what you're used to in the UK or America? Because
what, in
Chinese
China?
food obviously is different.
Man, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of spicy food. And then just like bizarre stuff. So I had like goat ribs, which was actually really nice. And then there were some frogs that came out one night.
No woofie, right?
No, I've got a real, it seems weird, but I've got this real thing about that whole situation. I don't know how. I think in the poor provinces that may be a thing, but the Chinese really love their dogs. Not eating them as in having them as pets.
But one second, ladies and gentlemen, we got Zach popping in. Zach asks, "Hello, Zach.
What's up?"
Hey, Zach.
Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. So there was. So I was out with Nick from Polymaker. So after the stream that we did, we went out and we celebrated because it was a great stream. And we ended up at this place, and they were like, "Hey, do you want some?" They were like all mocking me, and they were like, "Do you want some dog?" And I'm like, "No, I definitely don't want some dog." Yeah. And then Nick goes, and I'd sort of made it quite clear that like that wasn't a thing that I was like going to even want to talk about because it's like animal cruelty and stuff is just a bit of it is too close to home for me for that. And Nick goes, "Well, it's not actually dog; it's more like puppy." And I nearly like I looked at him, and I think he knew because I was about to pop at that point, and he goes, I'm joking. He goes, "It's ice cream. It's ice cream that looks like a dog or a puppy or whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, all right, okay."
Isn't there some part of the world where they worship cows and they don't eat cows or like their pets? But we love cow over here, so
yeah. India is
all depends how you're raised. If you're raised on something, you don't know any better. So.
It's religious. It's Hinduism, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hinduism is the sacred cows.
Definitely.
Yeah, I have a coworker.
You go to India and order a burger.
Yeah,
they will hunt you.
I have a coworker that ate dog. He's like, but he has a dog as a pet here in the States. And he's like, you gotta understand cultures.
A little bit gamey.
What's available.
Totally.
And yeah, it's like, but we.
it's not my first trip to China either, so it's not like we haven't already experienced some of the other stuff that's out there. But I just don't want to have that sort of just flung at me, really, particularly. So yeah, I just kind of went along with the flow, and there wasn't anything that was too heinous, really. There was like a pig that had like tomatoes for eyes. That was kind of weird. Oh, my camera just died. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. What have we got going on here? Bear with me.
I have to say though,
You have a
putting
bear
acrylic
with you?
CO2, it's pretty cool.
That looks nice.
Well, that's clean.
Yep.
You cut that
Not
with
burnt,
scotch
melted,
tape?
or anything.
Exactly. No burn marks, nothing.
Yeah, molecule.
Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah,
Very cool.
no, it's a
Lily, quit it.
If you do that, I have to think about that guy from Hogan's Heroes with always walking with the monocle.
Colonel Clink.
Yep.
What
Yeah,
material is
that's
that,
the one.
Tripod?
Yeah, Tripod's name is Colonel Clink.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Zach.
Okay, just making sure. What material is that, Tripod?
Tripod, what's
Here.
it made out of? He's wondering. Is that acrylic?
yeah, it's acrylic. It's 3 millimeter.
What was it, like a CO2 laser? I missed part of the conversation here.
Yep.
I'm sorry, what was that, Zach?
I said, what was it, a CO2 laser?
Yeah, CO2. Yeah, because the dial could do not clear acrylic, so just due to the wavelength spectrum.
The space that I go to has a Ohmtech 150 watt 1 by 1.6 meter big boy.
Wow.
Big boy laser.
I was gonna say that thing has to be pretty huge on rollers, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's like a chest freezer. I'm sure.
No, it's way bigger.
Oh,
I've
it's
never
even
seen
bigger than
a
that.
chest freezer this size.
You're going too high.
Huge. But
Oh, you want to show off your project there? There you go.
Oh, that's cool looking.
you know what this is?
Yeah.
Let's see, alert, 24 volt.
Do you know what
Burns.
this is, though?
Well, I was thinking it's just an output generator.
It's an EDM power supply.
For
Electrical-
ghosts.
Electrical discharge machining. So
I was
this
gonna
turns
say, I
an
love
Ender
that
3
band.
into a metal cutting machine. Hold on, I'm gonna bring the Ender 3 up.
I was thinking
Kinda
you
like-
hit up.
Oh.
Crack
Sound like-
included.
Like a bowl
Yeah.
of aluminum.
Build
and
a
he
bum.
can- And he can.
Everyone wants to mine your crack, Zach.
Yeah, well, so this is.
An Ender 3.
Let me run the Z-axis up here. Yeah, it was on Kickstarter. The guy overproduced his Kickstarter stuff, and still has a couple left on his website. So, there's a vat. You put the workpiece in it, and distilled water, and then there's a cartridge that goes right here that's got a little electrode that comes out. So it's just brass.
It's like an arc welder.
Goes in like that.
All right. And then what?
The way it works is it uses a very high frequency pulsed 72 volts to spark that off of the material, and that causes the material on the positive side, which is a little clip, to erode. So you basically, you're machining aluminum with absolutely no cutting forces. It's just spark.
Interesting.
Does it have a flux capacitor?
No.
Okay.
I saw the comment or somebody said you can get extremely good tolerances on wire EDMs, and that yes, you can. The thing with those machines though is there's no real good way to hobby one of those, because the way a wire EDM machine works is it's just like this. It's fast electrical pulses that cause sparks, but it's brass wire, so the wire has to be strung through and held in tension and fed continuously fresh, and it cuts material as it goes. And this all has to be done under distilled water. So you'd have to have a way to have a top and bottom head in the water feeding wire in order to have a hobby wire EDM. This is really easy because it's just that little brass rod. You can do a bigger rod, you can do a smaller rod, whatever.
And if you touch the water while it's working, you probably get quite a zap, right?
No,
No?
not in this case, because it's 72 volt DC. So you don't want to touch the positive. You don't want to make a circuit. You know, you can shock yourself pretty easy with 72 volt continuous, but a pulse 72 volt current is really gonna light you up. But you don't really have a path in the circuit just touching the water. The whole point of the water is distilled water acts somewhat like an insulator, and that's the thing is you have to have the current start and stop really fast. If you have just a dead short, you're gonna have current flowing the whole time, and it's not gonna work. The spark is the trick. Yeah, right there. The frequency of the current tends to erode the surface instead of melting. That's exactly how it works.
Nice.
This cat knows I'm on camera. I swear to God.
So, Sam, you were gone for what, 2 weeks total?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, about 2 weeks. About 2
But
weeks.
you're missing your wife and son quite a bit, being gone that long.
No, not really. No, I'll be glad to leave for Munich on Wednesday, and then heading out to the States just afterwards. Yes.
You coming to Earth?
They might have missed him though.
Sam, are you coming to Earth?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Cool. I'll see you there. I live
Amazing.
I live like 2 hours.
I didn't know which way that was going to go. Then I thought he was going to go. Oh, maybe I won't go.
Here's a print that I'm working on.
I've got one of those.
That's huge.
Wow. My oh yeah button's not working.
Oh yeah.
So I'm 6'2". You see how it's huge. I'm setting up a booth to sell 3D printed stuff at a horror movie festival.
Nice.
That's 5 minutes from my house. So I'm gonna have that there. Some other cool stuff too.
Just to answer your question there, Kate. No.
Nice work.
All kinds of different like horror movie characters.
That's neat.
Jason.
Yeah, this was nice. It was I think there's 18 different designs.
You got a haircut recently too, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 18 different designs, and like the commercial license on Colts was like $30. And I'm gonna be at a horror movie festival.
Mm.
I probably sell these for $5 a piece, and I probably they're probably 10 grams of material each.
Ask 15, you can always come down to 10.
No, I'm only gonna do like $5. Because I mean, you see how many I have, and this isn't all of the ones I've made either.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of different designs. I don't want to end up with, a whole bunch of one design. So try to encourage get rid of them.
Yeah, collect them all.
I think we should do a giveaway.
Yeah. What are we giving away? K1 Max. Well done, Jerry.
I wish. No. Ziltech Rolla filament, as per the bottom of the screen, anybody can enter, but it must go to a USA address. And if you've won in the last 2 months, don't enter because it ticks off Ziltech when the same people win.
You
over
said
and over.
giveaway?
Yeah. What was it, last week or the week before? Matt won twice. He wasn't eligible for either one, but he won twice. It was funny.
Congrats,
He logged in with both his names.
Where's the link?
Hey,
It's
did any of you
hashtag
guys
USA.
print,
Anybody can enter. Anybody on
Oh, I see.
screen. Doesn't matter.
USA. Okay, right. Hang on.
And you can just gift it to somebody if you like. But Ziltech.com, they're based out of Texas. They resell Big Tree Tech products. They cut extrusion. They sell all kinds of filament. They have a plant in China that makes their filament, which they own, and then they send it back to the U.S. They got big 5 kg spools, which I don't like. They're too big and bulky. They're hard to deal with. But they sell tons of filament. And almost everything should be in stock. So whoever wins today, simply go to Ziltech.com. You pick out a color you like and a type, and then I'll send you my email. I'll put it in chat. Let me know what kind of filament you like till you going to a USA address. I'll let my rep know, and they'll get it out to you right away. But they got lots and lots of stuff. Let me pull over my giveaway tool. See how well my trackball moves. Oh, we lost Sam. Now he's coming back in. There he is. There he is.
I was trying to get on the thing, but it's not letting me post on here. That's weird. Hang on, let me get on the Jerry show.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that Crowley live stream you're on, a couple people in chat said you ought to call it the Jerry Show. So I renamed it. And I even got a button for it. And here's the button I got for it.
It was really funny. She's going, oh yeah, I was like, Jerry. She's like, oh yes, the Jerry. No, not the Jerry, just Jerry.
So
Anyway,
I got a question for you guys. Any of you guys print with Polymaker ABS?
Yep.
Often?
Does it split?
No, I've got 3. The print quality's fine. 3 spools in a row, 3 different colors that are wound like crap.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, Polymaker is usually really good about that.
I know. I've never had any trouble, and I've had 3 rolls that when I'm running in the AMS, I'm having to just babysit.
And I've never printed rings for my cardboard spools from Polymaker, and they work perfect in my MS.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't deal with the rings.
When they get really low, then they jump around a little bit, so I kind of help them. But they've been printing fine.
Well,
and
that's
a lot of times, I put Ziltech filament in my bamboo, and I get about an inch and a half tall in a model, and then I'm printing in midair. Quite often with Ziltech filament, it clogs my bamboo. Sometimes it prints perfect, but Polymaker always prints perfect. But anyway, let's do a giveaway here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
No.
Pete.
Hey,
Pete, are you in chat? Congratulations. As long as you haven't won in the last 2 months and you live in the USA, you won some filament. Pete, are you here?
Pete.
I am. Woot. Awesome. Very
Nice
cool,
one,
Pete.
Nice one.
Hey, Jerry, blow me up.
Hold on.
Jerry's been waiting for those words, Dak.
That is suspect. That winding is very suspect.
Yeah, Pete, go to Ziltech.com. Here's my email and chat, but you know how to get a hold of me. And give me your mailing address and what kind of filament you'd like, and I'll have them send it right out to you. Congratulations.
You see how it's pulling from underneath what's next to it?
It's almost like it got hot and warped or something, but that's ABS. That would take a lot of heat.
No, it's not warped. Look at the.
Oh, that's
Tangled.
It is tangled.
Oh, man.
It's definitely underneath it.
I think, yeah.
Try to pull out like 30 feet and rewind it, I guess. I don't know.
That's what I've been doing.
If you can feed it underneath.
Well, what you do is you loosen the coils and you pull it off the side of the spool. Because if you keep pulling, it's just going to keep. It's not going to undo it.
Very welcome, Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's infuriating. And like I said, 3 spools, 3 different colors have been this way, but only the ABS. Where is...
Feel free to talk. Anybody have any questions? Anybody else like to drop in? Anybody on screen have anything to talk about? Just start chattering away.
Any of you guys really good at programming for like Arduino or ESP32s?
Nope, not me.
Nope.
I'll show you. If you press here, you have your time lapses. And when you press this one, it says only export. I cannot remove them.
Interesting.
And also, when you export it, it still keeps it file in the printer. So
Sam,
if I keep on going like this, Sam, I don't know if you know this. How can I remove the time lapses out of the printer?
I'm not sure, but what I can tell you is in 2 days' time, the source code is being opened.
Okay.
Not that it really matters to anybody, but they sent it to me early. But because I don't do programming, then there's not an awful lot that I can really. She goes, "Can you make a video about it?" And I went, "What do you want me to tell people that you?"
Hey,
Oh yeah, I can make one.
Zach, read the screen.
I can make a video out of it, no problem.
Yeah, do it,
Yeah,
Sam.
I sent him an email, but I never got anything back. I need to message him again.
Just post the GitHub link and let the forces.
But so far, my printer is running fine and never had any issues.
Sure. I mean, I think the issue as far as it goes is very much about the fact that it was never meant for closed source working. So I think that's pretty much what everyone's got the bee in the bonnet about. But and I get it and I understand why they've done it but the really interesting thing is that Creality are going to carry on supporting people even if they smash the hell out of their printer and their print heads and whatever else due to a mistake. So I was very surprised to hear and learn that they were going to still support people, even if they've trashed their printer.
Is it what is it running? Is it Clipper or is it in house?
It's Clipper.
It's on half the speed, 300. I did not a lot of supports because I don't print a lot of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I had one little bit layer shift here, and this one broke off. But that's my problem, not the printers. So far, if you can see, 300 millimeters, I think. Yeah, half of the speed. So it's running fine on PLA Plus.
So Vincent,
Nice.
Where is that MP4 stored? Is it stored on the memory card? Is there some memory on the board?
There's no memory card in the printer so far that I know. And when I'm opening the software on the PC, I can see the files that you can upload to the printer. Those I can remove. Then you have records. Those I can remove, but only the time lapses I cannot remove. Only export it. But it keeps on showing me in the file. So, and I know there's a limited space of storage in the machine. So there's going to be a problem later.
If it's running Clipper, that means it's a Linux backbone somewhere.
I got no issue how the software works because I'm all new in Clipper stuff. Because I always been running Ender3's original, no modification.
Do you know anything about Linux in general?
A little bit. I've just started.
So there's a program called WinSCP. It's basically a file manager, a remote file manager that works well with Linux. If you could figure out the IP address, username, and login for the Linux running on the machine, you can connect with WinSCP and just dig through the files and find where the files are stored and delete them.
That's already way out of my league. I can tell you that. I really have to learn something like that. I've got Linux Ubuntu running on in the background here because I just started, just installed it, and I was like, I want to take a look at it and try how it works. And
well, the good news is that this is all very simple. I could coach you through it on the stream and not really talk over much of anybody.
So can I just read what Creality's put back to me here? So I had so Ralph is basically the K1 guy, right? And I spoke with him about various things, and I asked them a bunch of questions, and I said they've said after opening we will simultaneously open the installation methods of fluid, moonraker, and mainsail, but using them may bring some risks. We will claim the risks in all relevant guidance documentations. So obviously that will come out later. And then I asked about LiDAR and whether or not that's going to be supported inside of this open source element. And they said about LiDAR, possible release time within the next few months, probably this year. The Creality Cloud part is not part of the open source. That's what they've sent me.
Yeah,
on top of that, they've given me a special link to GitHub and all the information about the source content previews.
So that's a K1 Max, right?
That's K1 and K1 Max.
No,
mine is a K1.
Was that a question for me? Do you know how big the Asian market is for companies like Creality compared to NA in Europe? No, I don't.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I wanted to get a Bamboo in the first place, but my problem was I had to pay 600 euros import tax and shipping cost to get one here. I was like, I'm not gonna do that. So that's why I bought the K1.
I noticed on a recent update with Bamboo Labs, now when I do my first layer,
why you had to pay import fees? I mean, it's not coming from England.
LiDAR checks my whole first layer if my mic's working. It's not just checking the scripts in front, it's checking the whole print on LiDAR now on my Bamboo.
I don't ever run that. So, Vincent, let's do this. Download this.
Hold on. Let me check.
Look in the private chat.
Yep.
Let me know when you
awards. Yep.
Zach, is this something I'm supposed to share here?
No, this is Prevent It.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to see if I can, because I found the username and password of the machine, so we're gonna see if we can remote connect to it and look at the files on the thing.
It's printing at the moment, so I cannot not do anything about it now.
No, yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yes, Kenny?
Zach, weren't you the one that did the EDM last week?
Yeah, I don't have it built yet, but I've got the majority of the stuff printed for it. So
yeah, and after our last Saturday's meeting, I had a flashback because back in the 80s in Southern California, I used to work for a machine shop, and we expanded to another unit because this guy was getting bought out, and that guy had an EDM back in the 80s.
Was it a wire EDM or a sinker?
I just know that the tool or the part that you're making was copper. That's all I remember. We're talking the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a new technology by any means.
No, it's not. But yeah, as soon as we went offline, I know what that guy's talking about.
Yeah, the tolerances you can achieve are bonkers. It's ridiculous. I mean, one of the biggest reasons why machining parts it can be difficult to hold tolerance is tool pressure. So when your tool is moving through your part, you're pushing on the part. It doesn't impart a zero amount of force. Well, an EDM machine imparts a zero amount of force because it's technically non-contact. That's the crazy thing about it. So you basically you start cutting without touching the part.
This program looks a little bit like Flash FXP that I used to use.
So you'll see login and new site. On the right, you'll see a window that says session. Hold on, let's do this.
And by the way, no echo, right?
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, much better.
What's the problem?
It's a trick question.
Well, he's got his headset on now.
You see that comment from Derek Sam? I don't know if you're on the same screen.
Yeah, I have. I saw that. I didn't want to interrupt. So I haven't seen the Acre Make thing you're talking about.
It's not going to show the pop-up.
I'm not entirely sure what that is. But there are some issues with that company with data protection and various other things, which, to be honest with you, if you're dealing with any Chinese company, someone's going to tell you there's data protection issues. But actually, in their literature, there legitimately is.
Yeah, this comment here from Delos Logos 3D Printing out of the UK, Derek.
No, don't cancel.
Lopez Liz.
Or
Okay.
if you didn't order it via my link, then yes, definitely cancel it and then reorder it via my link.
So then, when you get there, you want to make sure file protocol is SFTP.
Yeah, but I only got the program open, and for me, let me explain. I'm Dutch, so some words in English are hard to translate, especially with programs and software. So
write it down, pen and paper. Write down what he says.
No, I'm going to put it in private chat. So
Okay.
The machine is printing. That's fine.
Yeah, it's done. I just looked.
What's up, Tim? How you been, buddy?
So when you open up WinSCP, is there a big screen that pops up that says login?
Here's a link for you, Tim. if you
Oh,
wanna pop
I pressed that one away. Hold on, I will restart it.
And while we're waiting, don't you hate when that happens? It won't fit. It won't fit. Don't you hate when that happens?
That's
in. Run a
terrible.
bigger cage.
I'm printing a different one.
Chris Travis, hello, buddy.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I got it open.
I heard Chris Travis isn't going to Earth.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll probably be there.
No, he's not.
No?
No, and he owes us a barbecue tripod.
That's why he's not going.
No, it's he owes us a barbecue where he bailed on us last time.
You will be seeing Rob Mink.
Who?
Rob Mink, the
I'm
baby
more
dog
excited
guy.
to see Zach. I'm very excited to see Zach from his show, the German guy. Your mate.
Yeah. Zachary 3D.
Zachary 3D, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't get on. There's a proper like bust up between the two of the Germans there.
I have no problems with them.
You should tell your face.
Tim Hoagland, are you going to pop in? You got time?
I have no problem with Zach. I love him.
I thought you
always
guys
watch
had
him.
beef.
No, hell no. What kind of beef
I
is
thought
that?
he got you in a headlock. You told me he got you in a headlock at an event, and you've never forgiven him.
So put all that in, Vincent, and hit log in and tell me what it does.
Yeah,
I
I'm
never met
trying
him
to
in
do it.
person.
Maybe not.
No.
Oh.
The only one ever I met in person was James and Mike.
Oh, okay.
I invited you to my wedding, but you didn't have time.
No, I
The
didn't.
only person I met in person
Yeah, I
is
know.
Skinny.
Yet another one.
It's on screen.
So Zachary's German, but where does he live? Does he live in Germany? Do we know?
Yeah.
No, he's
He's there keeping the faith every day. That's what he says. He says Matt German's just a fraud and a fake living in the UK.
Oh.
You do, Chris. You do.
It's asked me in
I
password
married you, didn't I?
for the second time, and it doesn't accept it.
Hold on, let's see something.
Oh, wow. Non-Pam's going to Earth. All right, cool.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Very cool.
Remember to wear a hat so Sam can identify you.
Or a name badge. Name badge would be really handy, actually. Or I'll have my my manservant tell me who
wear
it is.
a pink rose for him in here.
Wear a shirt, non-fam. It's got all 3 of your names on it. Well, you might be on other platforms, but I know of 3.
Okay, I'm still looking. Apparently, there's something you got to do to gain access. I'm still looking at it, but it seems to work.
Is that maybe because my printer is wireless and my PC is on the CAT cable, and I've just installed a Netgear router, and there's a lot of issues with the firewalls and stuff in
That's
there.
not it.
I'm still tinkering with it.
If you can from the app on your computer, if you can send a print to the machine, that's all you gotta.
Yeah.
If you can connect to it, that's the only thing. It's not liking the password is the thing. So I'm looking at. Okay.
So, Sam, if somebody new to 3D printing like Kate is in chat wanted the Bamboo Labs printer, what would you say the P1S would be the best bang for a buck? $699?
Yeah.
Wait for the next one.
Okay.
If they're new.
Wait a couple weeks to see what gets released, Kate. I think it's on the 20th. They're talking about it, right? 11 days?
Yeah, 20th September is when the embargo, you can drink it in the Congo, gets released.
Okay.
Jerry, in stream so we can interrogate him and
What's the date again, Sam?
The 20th of September.
Oh, that's coming up.
Oh yeah.
Zach, so do you have a K1 there that you're trying to?
No, I'm trying to walk Vincent through. So this
Are we looking at barbecue? Oh,
lots
with
of
ribs.
baby back ribs.
No,
Made
don't
from
get
real
me started.
babies, the baby back ribs.
Is that your house, or did you go out to eat? Or is that out? You're muted.
This is.
Oh, still can't hear you. I don't know. I don't see a muted symbol here on the screen, so it's something on your end.
Go to your settings.
A nice brisket, or
check your settings on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
He's a professional streamer.
Silent is great.
There's that. How about that?
Yeah.
We got that better. It's because I was messing with the laser. So no, this was at home on Monday. So
is that a rib?
Yeah, ribs. It's the 3-2-1 method, right? So 3 hours on the smoker, wrapped for 2 hours, and then 1 hour back on with your sauce to basically glaze it. So.
Oh, nice.
How about these pre-seasoned marinated pork loins that are made here locally by Smithfield? And I put them. I've got a pellet grill. I put the grill on smoke. Put the pork loin on for 2 hours at 200 degrees, and it is amazing. And it is the least amount of work for something that tastes that good.
And you always pull off a membrane, right?
No, they're ready to go on the grill when they come out of the package. That's what's.
Was the pork or is it beef that's got a membrane on the back?
The ribs.
Pork.
Ribs.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the back of the. Sometimes you don't have to take it off.
Which smoker? Which smoker?
Slow cooker. You got a slow cooker.
No, he said he had a smoker. Which one?
I wouldn't mind eating some prime rib.
Mine is it's a grill, but it's got a smoke mode.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because I got
something. I don't remember. I got it at Lowe's.
You guys are talking about ribs, and Sam's sitting there thinking about pancakes.
Yeah. I prefer prime rib.
Okay.
No, that's nice. With nice horseradish sauce or nice beef dripping sauce. Oh, yeah.
because I got a pit boss on my back.
Hey, Sam, did you tell anybody in
it
China
might
you
be a
wanted,
pit boss.
you wanted pancakes? They're like, what's pancakes?
No,
Not
they've
letting
got,
me
like,
in, man.
they've got like a pancake thing. I mean, there's, like I said, there's still Western food over there and stuff. You know, Starbucks is like rife over there. You know, every like 10 stalls, it's a Starbucks. But no, to be fair, the food was okay. You know, I didn't really have any issues. So, you know, all good. It's all good.
Where am I at? I'm Hampton, Virginia, Southeast Virginia.
I'm
Can you
looking
guess what
forward
this
to
is?
getting back to Hooters and eating some bad food and looking at some, yeah.
That looks like a Viewmaster,
Yeah.
a futuristic version of a Viewmaster. It's a pew pew of some sort.
The hell
Oh.
is that?
Cool.
It's one of those medieval circumcisers.
Yeah, for double, you know what?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mouse catcher.
ladies and gentlemen, we got TH3D man himself, Tim Hoogland, popping in.
No, this is actually,
Tim.
you know,
Hey,
to
Tim.
What's
remove
up?
your-
There he is, look. There he is.
How's everybody doing?
Oh, better since you've just turned up.
Oh no. I forgot to
Oh,
turn my
kidding
film.
me.
I was like, why am I looking like so
Good to see you. How you been, buddy?
Oh, I've been busy. I'm just working on the KP3S Pro right now. I got my CR10S Pro on the floor that I'm doing a board swap on. I'm getting rid of this old 8-bit garbage and putting in a 32-bit board because we want to run input shaping. So
This is actually a mouse trap.
interesting. Yeah, I came in at the wrong time. I was like, what is he talking about? You guys are talking about medieval circumcisers?
Yeah.
If you want,
sorry
you
about
can
that.
use it for that, but
It's
I don't know.
unpredictable if I'm on a stream, guys. Sorry.
I mean, what else is new? Yeah,
So,
I had to drop. We went out. The local high school had their go-kart test and tune day, so we were over there for a bit, and then I had to drop off a printer for a customer that I repaired for them, and then went back to the go-kart thing for a little bit, and yeah, came back on. And now I'm working on printers. Then I think tomorrow I'm going to work on doing the wiring for the train horns I put on my go-kart.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I got train horns on my truck, but the compressor leaks somewhere in the line, and it's running quite often, so they're louder than hell. But
Yeah,
I haven't used them in a couple years.
This one has like this little self-contained pump, and I'm really surprised at how loud it is. And I got to wire up like a horn switch for it with a relay because it pulls about 15 amps. So, but it's loud as shit. So if somebody cuts me off, I'm in the go-kart. They're gonna be they're gonna get a surprise.
You guys
And
seen the new Comgro T500?
Yeah, I saw it. It's interesting. It's funny because I was like wondering, like still like up until then, like the big thing was like, what do you do if you want a 500 by 500 by 500? You just basically had the CR10S5 and you have to upgrade it. Like,
Yeah, you buy a rat rig.
I mean that too, but that's still a lot of work. Come on.
A lot of work and a lot of money.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Hi.
That's what I'm doing.
He brought me a school bus.
Oh, cool.
Did he eat the
For the
children?
Plock-
Oh
the
my
Plock
god, he
Academy.
ate the
Plock
children.
Academy.
He's eating the children. Look how vicious he is. Come here.
I know.
Come here. He is 1 year old already. He turned one a couple weeks ago.
Oh
He's
my
no-
god, he's mauling you now.
I know he's so
Oh my
vicious.
god.
So
You
hey,
want this?
real quick, Vincent, the MediaFire link I sent you.
Yeah.
If you download that and run the K1exploit.htm, opens
Yeah.
up the web page in your browser. You should
Yeah.
be able to. So you did that. Put in the IP. Hit method
Yeah.
A.
Yeah, doesn't work. That's why I think it's a problem with my router.
It shouldn't. If you can connect, you can connect. That's all there is to it.
That's
Hey,
the
man.
weird thing. It's not letting me in.
Tech is weird, man, today.
Did you?
Have you
I mean,
tried turning it off and on again?
So to catch you
plug
up,
it back in.
Tim, to catch
Have
you
you
up,
used
what
the
we're trying
hammer?
to do, we're trying to root his K1 Max.
Oh, I haven't. Okay, I'll tell you right now. If they find a way to root it, I will probably buy one because
There's a way
I'm
to
not
root it.
buying. I'm not buying any printers that are locked into the cloud shit. Like
So-
I don't care
so
who's making
I've
it.
got a problem at the moment. It's saving files and I cannot remove them.
So
the time lapse files is being saved, and I cannot get them out of the printer. So it's being stored.
The next thing to try is the method B, which is you want
I tried both.
Hammer.
I tried both of them. It doesn't work. It doesn't connect. The weird thing is I can see the printer in the original software. It's running. I can see the camera. I can see everything. I cannot get in.
Are you putting in the IP address or the host name?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
At the bottom, there's guys that are having success.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to reconnect with WinSCP and it's still not working.
But I had problems before with connecting with a Raspberry Pi and everything when it's on Wi-Fi.
Take care, Kate.
Router.
Thank
There's
you very
an
much.
issue, I think, with my
$25.
system.
I appreciate it. Have a great night.
That's why I'm telling. I had issues before and trying to connect through Wi-Fi and SSH and couldn't get in the thing. So I think there's somewhere something in there because I just bought it and have to change everything in there, and it's all new to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tim. You want to say something?
I was saying to Sam next time he comes by, I put a bigger motor on the go-kart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it goes like 45 miles an hour now.
Oh my
instead
God.
of 33.
Awesome. Are you wearing a helmet when you ride it?
No.
Yeah, I have a helmet.
You should. Well, you ride bikes, you know better, so yeah.
Yeah, I have just I just have like a fancy bike helmet I wear because it's got a whole roll cage and shit on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah, you're building.
Because the motorcycle helmets, like because of the cage, they hit the cage. So I was like, I need something, you know. Why are you putting this ball on my desk? Him and the ball, like Remo is like obsessed with balls. I don't get it. Like this, I've never met a dog that is more just gung ho about tennis balls ever.
Is she just like chewing on the balls or licking them or what?
He doesn't have any balls licked, so I guess
Our neighbor's dog is so nuts about balls that they basically took all the balls away, and it's now a no ball dog.
Hey Kenny, is that a Mr. Cool unit in your behind you there?
A what?
A Mr. Cool mini split behind you?
No, it's a Stinville.
Okay.
Nito. Okay, now everybody's just talking about balls. I got a funny one this morning. I had to go to the VA this morning to get my heart checked just because I'm 65 now. Anyways, so the nurse was pricking my arm and stuff, and they said it's something to do with gas bubbles. So when they're doing an ultrasound in your heart, because that's what I had was an echo, and they said if you can't see the wall, they got to inject you with the stuff. So of course, smart ass me, I asked the nurse and the tech. So you said gas balls, right? So does it make you fart? He goes, no, you breathe it out. So I said, you breathe out gas balls? So as I was leaving, going down the hall of the VA, they were wrong.
Vincent, comment on the screen from Jack in the Shop.
So real quick, I gotta go. Lacey just got off work. We're gonna go get dinner.
No, but I just got here, Zach.
Yeah, I know.
I missed you.
We will miss you.
Hey, are you coming to Earth?
I am not.
No.
I am roofed out. I've got so much stuff to do here, and plus I'm like basically running everything myself, so I don't have anybody to like cover for me if I'm gone during the week.
Yeah.
So
I'll cover.
Yay. I might, if they do a virtual thing, I might pop in. So
yeah. I'm not actually doing both days this time. We're driving up Saturday morning, doing the show, spending the night, and driving back, so I don't have to miss any work.
Yeah.
And then hand surgery, 2 weeks before Earth on my right hand, and I'm missing work for that. And then I'll have to have my left hand on before the end of the year. So I'm trying to.
What caused that? Too much repetitive motion?
I got carpal tunnel in both wrists.
Does it hurt?
So yes.
Yeah, it hurts bad. It is terrible. Do not recommend. It's a type 1 diabetes complication.
You still got that you still got that cool little like smart pump that you're showing us?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that thing's neat.
I'll
Technology.
have one of those for the rest of my life. But yeah, so Vincent,
Matt's pocket rocket.
if for some reason your router is blocking port 80 access from your computer, which is a different port than the web interface would take.
Is it blocking it on the local network though? I've never heard of that.
I'm not,
WAN.
the weird thing is I can see the printer in the software on my PC. I can upload files and everything, and I'm trying to get in it now with the software.
It may be, I don't know, but regardless, Tim, did you see the links that I posted to the exploit to root?
I did not.
There's the Reddit thread. I just posted it again.
Has anybody figured out how to get into the bamboo stuff anyway at this point
The
yet?
bamboo stuff is all proprietary.
I know.
The firmware.
The K ones are running Clipper, aren't they? They run like
yeah.
a bastardized version of Clipper. Okay.
I mean, it's full Clipper. There's guys that all they do is swap in Fluid and Mobile Raker, and then you've got the web interface and a phone interface.
They've sent me the source code here, Tim. I've got the source code here.
Do they? Fine.
Yeah.
Well, they have to release the source code.
Well, they do, but
that's the whole problem with the Sonic Pad is I keep telling people don't buy it because they don't run, like, you can't just put regular Clipper on it.
No.
No. And like that's a huge downfall. Like, especially in this market, especially that type of product. Why would you?
Well, you
why
can buy
would you
you
restrict?
can buy the FL Sun and put Vanilla Clipper on the FL Sun pad.
Well, and I've got the BTT Pad 7 here. I've been playing with
22.
that, and that's a nice piece of hardware. Like, hell just froze over. I actually like a piece of hardware that Big Tree Tech made. Like,
I never thought I'd ever hear you say that, Tim. Especially if you're now BFF with Luke, right?
Yeah, Luke and I chat. He's a good dude.
SSH is port 22. It's HTTP is 80 in there.
Okay, so I see here with this exploit. Bye, Zach.
I'm out of here.
Take care, buddy.
But yeah, Vincent, whenever you're able to get access to WinSCP, in there somewhere is going to be those files. And when you find them, you can delete them with SCP.
I'm going to do a test this week with my Raspberry Pis. I had issues before, something similar like this. So I'm going to check it out if that's my my router that I'm using. That something is going on.
Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go get ready and then go get some dinner. So I'll catch y'all later.
Take care, buddy.
Bye,
have a good day.
Later.
Later.
Why is this not storing? I'm trying to figure out why this EEPROM's not storing on this freaking board here. Well, it is, but the touchscreen's not saving its settings for some reason. Everything else is saving, so the EEPROM's working.
Good, Matt. Are you still there, Marcus?
On me?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah, I seen your mic turn off. Okay.
Yeah, I was eating some.
What you?
You say what am I
Also,
eating?
this file you can download on printables. Just look up Matt German.
Patrick from Laser Everything, he had a video he put out the other day, and he had I think a cow skull and then one from a sheep or something that he's engraving on, which looked pretty cool. But then in the video, he mentioned that one of them was the family pet that he buried, and then like a year later, I guess he dug it up and he used that skull to engrave on.
Oh my God.
That's dog. That's dog.
Yeah. It wasn't a dog. No, it wasn't a dog. It was a sheep.
No,
or
it's dog.
A,
it's dog.
A goat or something like that.
Okay. The family goat.
Yeah.
Yeah, was delicious.
Nay.
Oh, yeah, guys, I'm going to log out.
I wouldn't mind some curry coat.
Well, thank you, Vincent, very much. This is the longest you've ever stayed on any stream. It's usually like 10 minutes.
I'm trying to work on some stuff and learning again. You know, had a lot of problems in the background, and that's why I logged in for an hour. Then I left every time because
we're all on social media. If you have any
tired,
problems, if you can't find an answer on the group when emailing the company, message somebody, and everybody will try to help you. I'm sure.
I'm gonna make a video about it.
Yeah, I'm looking through the.
If you need help, I'm here. Yeah. You know my hourly rate, right?
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah. So I'm looking through here on the XPlay for the K1. Does this also block them from like pushing updates that will break it, or does it like disconnect it basically from Creality's cloud once that's put in there?
Yeah, the US
update it. I had update issues also. Because
if the USA ever goes to war with China, they're going to brick all of our printers, right?
Probably.
That's what I like. Even on my I got a ton of smart home stuff here, and I keep like almost everything. I think the only thing that's not Cloud Connect. I think the only thing that's not detached from the cloud is like my Google Nest smoke detectors, because those are really good, and I'm not going to screw around with DIYing that.
Well, when the cloud system was down last week from Bamboo, I was still able to access my printer.
Yeah, you can still do local.
Yeah, well, but the problem is here's my thing with all the stuff relying on the cloud. If all the cool features and like the cutting edge stuff relies on the cloud, and the cloud goes down, or they say, hey guys, at this date, because this has happened with multiple companies where they've had cloud stuff and it's free. Well, like a couple years later, they realize how expensive it is to run the servers, and they go, well, hey, you guys are gonna start paying for this now, or you're gonna lose the feature. Like that's the other thing, because it's not super sustainable like to keep running all the servers and tech and stuff. At some point,
that's why you have local.
Right, but if you lose those features that rely on the cloud, then
Sam's showing off his new tattoos.
You know what I mean?
I'm stretching.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tim. I think a lot of time, well, if there's a decent community, the hackers will get involved and reverse engineer it on save everyone.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, the 12th is when the open source elements are coming out, and I think they're also opening up the slicer as well.
Yeah, Luban is coming out with its slicer. I actually came out with a slicer, and
I've been happy
makes
with
it more powerful. The program.
I've been pretty happy.
Program upgrade.
Tim's been happy with Cura 1.2 since
No, dear
1985.
I've been very happy with Prusa Slicer. I switched over a while ago.
Same. So Vincent, is there a chance those videos will roll over? Like that's what my Blink security camera does. Once the videos fill up, it just starts recording over the oldest one.
I don't know. I never tried it because I only got the printer for a week.
Yeah.
But I made so much small print, and I'm constantly making time lapses of all the little things that I was working on. So basically, like this, and all the separate parts, he made time lapses out of it.
You can switch it off.
Yeah, I know, but I forgot that.
All right,
My
I got a
first
question.
printer with all that kind of software in there, so didn't
Good,
notice.
Kenny.
All right. One question about one thing you see on all these sites for models, where it says remake or remake, right?
Remix,
yeah, remix. Okay, so is that defined as any type of modification to that original model?
Yeah, anything you do to it, if you repost it, it's a remix. You can't call it your original work. You take 2 or 3 models, you blend them, you make something new, you post it, giving attribute and credit and links to where it originally came from, and you're remixing.
Both of them? So should I do it for both of them?
I would.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, because I combined 2 today. So Kenny got his first remix. I mean, that's what's printing right now.
You can repost it as your work, but you have to give credit to where it originally came from because you remixed it and say that.
Right.
And you got to check to make sure that the models you're remixing permit that, because some people get really pissy about that.
Yeah. It's basically the it's for my board. I got the SKR3 Easy for my rat rig because I'm tired of messing with my Manta. So I got this, and then the first one I tried to print out this morning wasn't wide enough. It wasn't the correct one. I don't think it was for the easy, which is
Sam, don't you have 1 or 2 rat rigs you built?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
He has 3, isn't he?
I have got 3. Yeah. Well remembered there, Matt. You creep.
He's just collecting rat rigs.
Sorry, I
Going
was
outside.
yesterday at your house and had a good look.
I know, right? I know.
I am a little worried about Rat Rig, because like when you look at Rat OS, yes, it updates all the time, but when you look at the main guy and you go on to the GitHub and you look like to see if he's getting support, financial support like sponsors, and it's very few and in between. I'm like, wonder how long this is gonna last.
Who are you talking about, Mikkel or
Schmidt?
Okay,
It's
I
done.
think it's
Finished. I mean, if they're getting enough sales from like the printer kits and stuff,
yeah,
then,
he'll be
like
he
that
is-
should be
he's
that
also-
should be subsidizing it.
Yeah, he is supported via RatRig as well. So that
Nice.
there's two.
Yeah, hopefully that's the
things on
case.
there.
so it's more than okay. So he's getting kickback. Good.
Oh
Hey,
my
Tim
God.
Hoogland, do you recognize this person?
Who the hell is that guy?
Is that Matt Farmer?
Yes.
Yep.
I thought he needs to be gold.
He had
Surely
himself
a
a
god
hand
is
at a
gold,
show.
right?
Well, I thought about trying to paint him, but there's not enough fine detail. So I used I forget what kind of powder I used on it. But anyway,
It's late.
I had Matt send me a couple audio clips. When I done a video on this, I talked to the statue, and then Matt replies back to me. So yeah, he sent me 3 audio clips on different.
Can you do it
questions
so you
I
push his
asked
belly and it says something? It's a Kumina Mods, your 3D printing resin god.
Yeah, you just have it. This is your 3D printing resin god.
Yeah. So now whenever I do a
Just
resin
every
print
time.
on one of my printers, because I've done like a couple hundred resin prints, I can ask Matt if he approves
Oi.
of what I did.
Oh, neat.
What's wrong?
What if he's
Later,
like
guys.
like
ya.
no, I don't approve. Bye, Vince.
See you later, Vince.
Hi, Vince.
Take care, Vince.
Hey,
What's
back
wrong
on
with
the
the
back on that thing I did for my the controller thing. Anybody in chat? What I used was 3D Builder, which is if you're on Windows, it's free. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So it's kind of
so is that program actually useful? I've never
Yes,
messed with
it
it.
Follow.
one of my friends over in Bamboo turned me on to it because he was an early adapter like I was on the Bamboo, backer, and I needed some things done, and he walked me through how to use 3D Maker or Builder. I mean,
Yeah, I use 3D
Say.
Builder. That's a brilliant program for
that's how
free.
I did. Yeah.
3D Builder.
Yeah, what is 3D
Oh,
Build?
man.
Is that the Unity thing? No.
It's in Windows. Built-in Windows.
Oh, I was wondering why it's so quiet. John's got his mic muted. That's why.
Oh,
Island is golden.
I use it all the time.
I'm just
I do.
lubing my rails over here, Tim. Do you want help?
I got my own Rails lube. Okay.
Okay, I just, the offers
I could
just
use a hand.
stands.
I
How
could
about
use a
leg?
hand lubing.
Well, no, you offer me a leg for a hand.
And wouldn't you have a leg up if you had my leg?
Well, I actually got rid of that part that says get a leg up on that. So just seeing if I could get rid of the scorching around it without putting tape over it. It's a leather
Here, I'll make-
patch.
For people watching on the cell phone here, I'll make you bigger so you see it.
Get a leg up, see? I just got rid of it.
Wow, John. Why did you get rid of it?
Well, because, I didn't want to offend any of you bipeds.
Don't worry, John. We'll just crack on at Six Flags. We'll.
Oh God! Damn!
Touche.
Damn!
I'm surprised Scott didn't pop in today. He's usually here.
Who's that?
Scott didn't
Mama.
pop in today. I'm surprised.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, lovely Scotty.
Probably got
Is
busy.
he missing in action? Did you
Oh,
left him in
Brandon.
China?
Well,
I
I'll tell you something.
You
that did
probably
happen.
left him in China in one of the factories.
He shaved his moustache off.
His mustache. Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
his mustache?
His mustache.
Is that how you guys say it over there? Mustache?
What would you call it?
Mustache?
Mustache. He's called it a mustache.
Or a stash. A
Stash.
stash.
Mustache.
This is a goatee.
Mustache?
This is a goatee.
This is mustache. Okay, hang on. Let me find the picture.
It's weird.
I had a mustache.
I think my favorite thing to hear, like like people with an accent say, is a bottle of water.
Bottle of water.
Bottle of water.
Well,
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because when we were out with some people in China, I actually said that while I was drunk. Let me find the video for that one. It was really.
I say
funny.
crick, and my wife goes, "No, it's a creek." I said, "No, it's a crick." And I actually seen a show where they said it was a crick and not a creek. So it depends where you live at.
I like when
did
they say
you have
schedule.
fun in China there, Sam?
Say again, mate.
Did you have fun in China?
It was amazing. Yeah, it was really good. Really, really good. I was glad to come home. But yeah, I mean, it was just awesome. Yeah, really good.
Blink
Great time.
twice if you have to say that it was really good.
This morning, Jonathan from the Next Layer put out a video. He done the same trip that Scott and Sam did, basically, and he had a really good video.
He was there with Anycubic, mate.
I saw Jerry's big ugly mug on Anycubic's booth.
Yeah, they asked me and about 10 other people, including Sam. It was a Anycubic anniversary type deal. So, but that was cool seeing on the big screen.
Yeah, I had a deal. They asked me to go to China, but I didn't have to.
There was a moment we were out, and one of the girls said she likes veg, and I was like, I said what? And she said, and she meant she likes veg, and I was just like, yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. Dear,
That's
oh dear,
funny.
long old day. Yeah, it's good.
So, Jared, did you show?
Go ahead.
Show Sam your new toy.
My new toy. You're
toy?
frozen, by the way, Kenny. I can hear you, but you're not moving. What new toy?
Button. You know the button you like.
Oh, you ready? That button? Since I'm calling this a Jerry show.
That's great.
Yeah, I downloaded.
I gotta figure out what we're gonna call our new thing.
One thing that was nice, Sam, when you were on the live stream with Corality, by you guys being over there, trying to get them to loosen up and kind of show them, let's say, the Western way of doing things, instead of them being just like statues and not knowing how to loosen up. You know, might help them for future live streams on how to proceed and do things, how to react and act.
Yeah, there's a thing we're talking about at the moment where we're just, the thing is their customers are Westerners, and I think although the culture is very apparent, I think there needs to be a few kind of learning curves so they can actually understand their audience a bit better, because they're at that stage now where there's such a big company, there's such a huge company that they're losing.
Yeah, they're doing a ton of shit.
Yeah, they're losing sight of actually what's important and what really matters, and they're just coming out with, they're like, "Hey, we got another 5 printers coming out," and I was like, "Why? Why?
Yeah, can you guys get one that's really good?"
Yeah, it's just.
Did you talk about their awful naming conventions?
Oh my
god! I
If you
hate
keep coming out with products too fast, people don't know what to buy because, wait a minute, this one's coming out next week. Maybe I should wait. It's like you go to a restaurant and they got a 5-page menu. What do you order? It needs to be a front and back, and that's it.
I'll tell you one thing that happened, right? Scott and I got given a product, and they were like, "Hey, can you do a video on this? Can you just use it? Whatever." I was like, "Yeah, sure, okay." And then, literally, we walked into a different room, and this person comes in and goes, "Hey, oh, you've got that?" And we're like, "Yeah, here's the beta version." We were like, "Right, we're going to call it the Pro." And I'm like, "Oh, guys, come on, seriously."
How about the Ender 3 V3 SE?
Mate, honestly, apparently though it's supposed to be quite good. Like a lot of reviewers have come back saying it's pretty damn good. They've sent me one. It's not here yet. They sent me the Falcon 2. They sent me.
They're hitting me up. I've got a sales rep now, and I'm actually going to be ordering direct from them because I go through another reseller right now to get like my Creality stuff. But I was going through their site. I was like, man, they've got just so much stuff. And like, I was just surprised about how much stuff they have. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they haven't been marketing it. I'm like, why are you guys not marketing this?
It's what I saw out there, Tim, right? There's a machine they've got that you can literally live inside of. Like the printer is so ginormous. It was just bonkers.
Do you want to live inside a printer? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, but I was just like, this is just insane. Like the size of this printer is just ridiculous. But they're also heading towards an industrial market as well. So they've got.
They've had that for a while, though.
Yeah,
they've had the industrial setting for a while.
Totally, but not on the scale that I'm talking about. These are big printers that are just ridiculous. And it might reminded me a little bit of Rolls-Royce, where you've got the normal kind of factory stuff that's happening for consumers downstairs, and then you go into this other part of the building, and then there's some specific engineers that are building these printers, and it's all done by hand. So rather than the robots and the process they put down there,
well, because the quality is going to be higher.
Did you ask anybody who comes up with all these names? Do they have a whole team, or is it like
so here's what they do. They have a dartboard, and they have model numbers over here, and they have the name over here, and they throw one dart, and you get the model number.
I wish
and then you get, and then you throw this, you get the version number, and then they have a suffix. Then, so it can't just be Ender 3 V2. It's Ender 3 V3 SE, and then you add on at least 2 or 3 other letters.
Yep. They actually, it's not quite that. It's not quite as complicated as that. They have an elder that works for Creality, and he is there as a mystic, and he has a few T's, and then the next thing is that all of a sudden they've got all these crazy names. It's like, honestly, I've seen like the CR10 SE, which was then the Sam edition. Then they've got all these names, and like some people are repeating them online already, and as soon as they said it's this, and this plus these letters, and I'm like, why?
They're confusing the shit out of their customers. Like, as somebody that literally like we specialize in like accessories and upgrades, right? So like for us, we get people, well, I bought this for my CR10 and you said it works and it doesn't work. Well, what do you have? Well, I have a CR10. No, what is the full model number? What does it say? Well, I have the CR10S Pro V2. Okay, well, that will not work with your printer because that's a completely fucking different printer.
Yep.
Like, that's what pisses me off. It like confuses the ever living shit out of their customers.
Well, and they don't retire printers after they make another one.
They need to just retire the names. Like, why is this? Why, like, this is something that really pisses me off, because like we get people pissed off at us because they don't know what damn printer they have. So so there's an SE now. Can we just?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Tim. Right? Can
we make a CR11?
So the CR10,
can we just increment it?
Okay, let me go through this, right? The CR10 SE, guess what the build volume is?
300
I would assume if it's a CR10, it's a 300 by 300 by 400, like every other CR10.
You will assume wrong then. It's a 220 by 220 by 265.
No. You are fucking with me. No. Are you trolling? No, there's no. The CR10 is always going to be 300.
So this is the thing, right? So here's the thing. So
are you trolling right now?
No.
Are you serious? They're actually. So they're releasing a CR. They're listing a CR10 that doesn't have a 300 by 300 by 400.
Correct.
Why? So that's an Ender 3 size.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Sebastian popping in. Hey, Sebastian.
Hey. I've also got K1 Max here. But I won't start it. It will be probably too loud with the fans running.
Wie geht es dir?
Are you just going to rub it instead?
I'm fine. But I fixed the cable chain. It broke when I got it.
Creality never ships broken products. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You are lying. You're a lie face.
Sebastian, what country are you in?
In Germany.
Okay.
Oh, Matt.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, take over. Separate chat. We call that a breakout room, or when we do, like video chats.
There we go.
So
shall I continue with the CR10?
Well, okay. So wait, before you continue though, there is a CR line of printers, right?
Correct.
Okay, so let's first go to that.
There's a CR. There's the Ender. There's the K series.
Okay, but how many CRs are there?
Okay, I could probably actually rattle off most of these. Okay, so we have the CR10, the CR10S, the CR10 Mini, the CR10S Mini, the CR10S4, the CR10SS4, the CR10S5, the CR10SS5, the CR10 V2, the CR10 V3, the CR10S Pro V1, the CR10S Pro V2, the CR10.
I'm sorry, I asked.
CR10 Max. There's a CR20. There's a CR4040, which is an industrial one. And then does the CR6 count for the CR? Like you got the CR6 and then
But
what, the CR6
what denotes
SE
it, Tim,
and the
is the
CR6
CR in
Max.
front of the numbers.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there was also a CR5, which was a cantilever one that never got really any traction.
CR10 Smart.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about the CR10 Smart, which like nobody has because it was such a failure.
Yeah, then there's also the Smart Pro, which is a bit better.
Is Tim having a stroke? This is this is like something that drives me nuts with their naming schemes.
So, and I answered this in my video actually. So when I got there, okay, they were like, "Here it is, Sam. This is the CR10 SE," and I went, "It looks like an Ender, right?" and they went, "We can see why you think that, but have a proper look at it." And I was like, "Okay." So what the CR range is a non-budget. So this is more of a premium product. So like the Ender 3 V3 SE, big mouthful there, but it only has one Z motor, okay, which is kind of like old Ender 3, yeah, because they're saving money. Ultimately, the price drop is denoted by the Ender range, okay. So this one, and I suspect, and I don't know this, but I suspect you're going to see this size and you're going to see some other size. So this is what one of the CEOs of the companies calls a craftsman printer. So he wanted to keep that, and the CR10 for me is actually pretty special because it was the first printer that I had from Creality. I've still got it. I don't use it, but it's in the garage or the garage, depending on what state
I was going to say,
from.
what's the garage?
Yes, that's where Tripod takes me. He goes, get in
the garage.
Get into my garage. We'll call it garage together. So the CEO was really into that. He wanted to do a remake of this, and like I don't agree with the size. That's one thing that I'm like,
that's going to confuse the shit out of people.
Yeah, but it does have linear rails on the X and Y. It does run Clipper, and it does apparently run 600 millimeters per second.
No, it will not run 600 millimeters per second. Here's the thing. How are they getting away with pulling all these numbers out of their ass that are clearly bullshit? I'm just going to call it. It's bullshit. Like, if I advertise a printer that printed it, and I said it prints 600 millimeters a second, and it doesn't do that, I could be sued for, like, lying or whatever the word is.
So I didn't believe that it did it, and then they brought the engineers down and they sliced it in front of me and they put 600 in. Now the thing is with that is that I couldn't then see a clipper screen that then told me what the actual.
You can slice whatever you want. It's not going to actually mean the printer's going to move that fast.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of people are like. I remember, like, I see people go, "I'm printing at 500 millimeters a second." No, you're not. The printer's going to limit it. The firmware's going to go, nope, you're not running that fast because we're not capable of it.
I've got a question for Sebastian. Sebastian, how do you like your K1 Max? Have you had any problems?
It prints fine. I don't like the interface a lot because the web interface is still a bit rudimentary, I think, and the slicer crashes all the time. So I had to make a Prusa slice profile for it, which actually can slice a single wall. If you slice a single wall with the K1 Max profile in the Creality print, it will simply crash. I don't know why. But the print quality actually is fine. Only the cable chain is a bit weird, and the bend radius of the reverse bone is also a bit problematic, especially at the extruder here, in my opinion. When changing the filament, you notice that it won't always go round, and I think it introduces too much drag in the reverse Bowden setup still, despite they managed to get it out of the cable chain itself and run it on the side now. But I think it's still too much drag in there.
I noticed that a couple of people that have had ringing issues have replaced their tooth pulleys for like 20 teeth pulleys. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And they're getting much better results. The other thing that they had a problem with was the alignment of the belts on the Core XY system. And if you look at the front, sometimes you can see actually they are out by some way. That actual process, so the build of the actual framework is done on a robot, okay? But the internal process, the feeding of the bearings and all that kind of stuff is done manually.
And if they want to make AMS or MMU, or how you want to call it for it, I think they have to go with our other extruder here, because this locking mechanism, it will not really be reliable if you change the filament by hand even. So you have to fiddle around quite a bit to get the filament in here.
They'll probably put an AMS on an ender. They put it on the very first ender. They won't put it on the latest product. They're probably back.
Something I want to say about Sam's trip that I noticed in some different videos and clips is that every company you went to, correct me if I'm wrong, had bamboo printers. Either they're examining them or running them. Didn't all the companies have bamboo printers also?
Not all of them, no. A lot of them did. A lot of them did. And sometimes it was, if they were, Creality, for instance, if they had one in there somewhere.
They're scoping out the competition. Come on.
Well, but they were testing their filaments on it as well. They're dialing in profiles and stuff for it. So, I like 100%. There would have been engineers around it going, "How do we unpick this?" But the one that I saw in particular was being used for testing their filament, and just to ensure that it's going to work on that product line. But I noticed like eSun did an advert. I think it was today. And you see them bringing in this like dry box or something, and then there's a bamboo printer just sat right next to it. It's weird.
You guys remember like 10, 15 years ago when you get a blue screen on your PC occasionally in Windows, something would go wrong, you get a blue screen? Well, about a week ago, I was slicing a model for Wicked on that big alien, and normally in Bamboo Studios, I slice up the file. It takes a couple minutes, no problem. I downloaded the new version of Cheaty slicer for one of the printers I have. It was taking forever to slice the model, and after about 20 minutes, honest to God, I got the blue screen of death on my computer with a really loud buzzing sound. Like, what the hell is that? Never, ever heard that before. So I hurried up and shut down my computer, rebooted, and I didn't go back and use the software again. But I've never had software give me a blue screen of death like that, and I had this really loud buzzing sound in the house.
I mean, I've had to do that a couple times.
You have been emailing Creality recently as well, Jerry. So I'm not saying anything.
Put the tinfoil hat on.
Speaking of tinfoil hats, I've got to say, Stephen Lightspeed's breakdown this week has just been amazing, and it was just
Wait, what's going on? I am like.
At the new bamboo printer thing, whatever it is, on
Whoa, John, your microphone is horrible.
Super hot.
Stephen is probably lurking, so Stephen, if you want to pop in, I just shared the link.
He did a conspiracy theory video.
Oh, really?
Which is just it was a mock, but like just really funny.
Cool.
But then I've had people message me and go, is everything okay? He called you out, and I was like, he didn't really call me out. He was just like, who the hell is Sam Prentice? Is he a mastermind? Is he? There's this whole thing about the tattoo.
Why do people not get like sarcasm these days? Like,
I don't know.
Like,
I mean,
because I've had people that have like, because I screw around with my friends. We give each other shit, and it's just the relationship we have. And I've had people that are like, oh, you guys, okay, it was at some show we were at, and they're like, oh, is it okay if we put this booth next to you guys? I was like, yeah, why? They're like, oh, I thought you guys hated each other. I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? You thought we hated each other?
Oh, was that Big Tree Tech?
No, it wasn't Big Tree Tech. This was like a couple of years ago, but it was like another guy I knew, and we just like we always give each other a ton of shit, and I just thought it was funny. It's like, no, we're friends. We hang out a lot.
That's been me my whole life. I'm a very sarcastic individual. I try not to show it online, but pretty much anything that comes out of somebody else's mouth,
You're being sarcastic right now.
Turn it around and make something else out of it. But yeah, I'm very sarcastic.
No, you aren't.
But I am who I am. So like me or
when
not.
when we were at Murph, I was stood next to Tim, and he said something, and I was so confused because he was going, "Have you got a box or something?" And I was like, "What is he going?" I was like looking at him going, "What are you talking about?" And then there was some hijinks going on behind me with somebody trying to take a photo. So I can't remember what you said, Tim, but it really confused me. And I thought about it just the other day. It was something it popped.
Oh, did I come up just to tell you dropped your pocket?
That's it. Dropped your pocket. What is you? I was like, what? What are you talking about? Dropped your pocket? Just random. Real random.
Yeah, it was funny. Because he was genuinely confused. I was like, "Hey, you dropped your pocket."
She had no idea what he was talking about.
You've never had anybody say that to you?
No.
Oh man.
Dear,
No.
oh dear. We're just
Well,
waiting to see if
hopefully
this
after all that
reality-
travel, you don't come down with a case of ligma.
A case of ligma.
Yeah.
No, I did my COVID test though, and I'm not pregnant, so that's good. We're all wondering whether or not this Creality is going to print. Come on, Sebastian, let's fire it
This
up.
KP3S has got my firmware on here now, and it's heating up. This is actually a guy I met at Murph. He was like 30 minutes from me. He actually brought his KP3S Pro by. He's like, oh, I don't use it that much. I got a bunch of printers. He's like, you want to screw with firmware on it? I was like, sure. I was like, I'll send it back to you with a bunch of upgrades on it. So actually, for the price, this printer is actually pretty nice. Like for $170, like dual linears on the Y, we got a linear on the X, a nice extruder setup. Like, I actually see why this has been a fairly popular model and people have been talking about it.
Who never lets anybody else talk?
I'm hoping I'm getting a Bamboo P1S soon, in the next couple months or so, 3 months, I hope.
I will buy one once they have a fully offline setup process where you don't have to register shit. Because as far as I know from what people have told me is you have to register it and then put it in local only mode. Like,
yeah.
I just want to be able to take the printer out of the box, install the software on my computer, and use it. I don't want to register shit with your cloud. Like, I've had, like, I worked in IT for over 10 years. I've seen some shit. And it's not just Bamboo. It's all these, like, Creality. Like, I've said the same thing about Creality's cloud shit. I don't trust that at all.
Well, we had the Creality Creality printers sending out a search for whatever their version of Google is out there, D something, whatever it was. And they were like, there was a problem with it. And someone contacted me and said, why is my printer doing this? So I asked the engineers while I was there, and they were like, it's literally just putting out just to make sure that it's connected to the internet. And I said, can you just make it so it goes to Google or something that's not something in Chinese? Because that freaks people out. And they're like, oh, okay. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm sure there's going to be 1,000 other people that would tell me that there's better ways to do things, but that's the way they're doing things. So,
I mean, you could also just have it like ping a DNS server like 1.1.1.1 or 4.2.2.2. I mean, here's the thing. Like, so on my network, if the printers have to register with a Chinese server, it will not register here because I have inbound and outbound. Russia, India, and China cannot go in and out of my network. They're blocked at the country level at my router.
Right.
Kenny, your video is still frozen. You might want to like turn. Oh wait, wait, hang on. Did you move or are you just being really still? Oh Jesus Christ! Okay, holy crap! I thought his video locked up for a sec. Motherfucker.
No, I found the problem. My shed has the extended mesh, so I just unplugged it, and now I'm going straight to my router in the house.
Hello, Crystal.
Okay.
FlashForge K1 Killer.
So FlashForge is actually one of the brands I have never bought or used any of their printers from because they just they don't really do anything for me. They look like, do they still look like MakerBot clones, or have they gotten away from that design?
The new 5M Pro is actually quite decent. It's a bit like the K1 Max here, and a bit cheaper even. But let's see how they turn out. I mute myself again if the auxiliary fan started. It will get quite loud here.
Hello, Michael Castle. How you doing today?
That's a name I haven't seen in a while. How you doing, man?
Yeah, the older we all get online, occasionally you just don't see names anymore as people go other places.
Is my mic still hot?
Yeah.
It's better.
That's because running the laser.
Did this printer just reboot?
That batch came out a lot better.
I think this power supply in this KP3S is dying.
It looks blue. Is it blue?
Nah, it's just a bad camera. It's an HP laptop. What would you expect out of it?
What
Hey,
color
John,
is the
when are you getting rid of a fiber laser? Come on, I'm itching.
Well, you're the first on the list for if I get rid of one. You know that, Tim. Maybe a long time, but
I wish I lived closer to you.
so you got. Well, I've been turning down a lot of laser reviews, and then finally there's 2 that came across me that are not fiber, unfortunately, Tim, but they're unique enough for me to say yes to. Because I was getting like 3 or 4 a week, and I'm like, I just ignored them.
I think I got another. I think Adam Stack
I keep
hit us
sending
up
them to
last
you.
week.
I get messages from people, and they're like, "Yeah, laser," and I go, "Oh, you need to speak to this guy, tripod. Here's his."
Oh, that's probably why I get them all. Thanks.
Nice.
Yeah, I always send them to you too.
Oh, I got one email just 2 days ago. It says, "We noticed that you haven't done a laser review in 3 3 reviews. Do you want to do this one?" Like, no.
What laser or what fiber laser would you recommend right now, John?
Oh, jeez. I mean,
Put him on the spot.
The best, but
It depends
on
which
what
one's
you
going
want
to pay
on
the
it.
most money.
How much you want to pay, and
bang,
you know,
bang for a buck. Bang for a buck.
Okay. Well, the comp marker is pretty good.
Okay.
Oh man, it's okay. The dogs get fed at 5:30, right?
Is that why he's barking? Is that why he's
He
barking?
knows in real time.
And what time is it? 5:25.
Feed me now.
Oh my
Human,
goodness. Well,
feed me.
but you know, the comp marker is pretty good. Honestly, now Wiki Cloud is okay. Hold on. There's like
That's hilarious that he's that upset that you haven't fed him.
Well, no, it's Oreo. Oreo bugs him. She's got that. It's an amazing clock at 5:30. She knows it's dinner time. At 5:25 they started. So unreal. There's no clocks in. Well, there's one clock, but I doubt they could read it. But anyways,
if your dogs can read the clock, you're in trouble.
It's the Wakey is coming out with one. It depends, honestly, is the size and upgradability, of course. I mean, most of these fiber lasers, the sources are made by this, like 2 or 3 different companies, and that's it. So, I mean, you're basically buying the same thing. The most unique one out there is the Mr. Carve, the new one that's coming out, because it basically has a built-in computer on its side. But then you're locked in as of right now with proprietary software.
Well, that's nice. So does that mean that you could print off an SD card and you wouldn't need a computer attached to it?
No, you do not go off of SD cards with with fiber lasers. You're using CCAD, or you're using Lightburn, or you're using EasyCAD. Those are the 3 softwares.
What's the advantage of having a computer built in then?
Well, it's just so then you don't have to worry about it. It's actually on the side of the box. It's just another selling point.
Okay.
That's all. So it's only like a 10-inch display, but you know what? It just means that you don't have to lug around something else.
Right.
So
these dogs love these like little peanut butter chicken snacks. Come on, up.
Yeah, tripod. We were in private chat. We were talking about that one company that had messaged me, and I said, "Sure, I'm interested in this fiber and your other CO2," and never heard back from them. That's why in their live stream, I felt compelled to say something so I could make my comment. Then they're going to for sure read it, because they contacted me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really interested," and then no email back. Because typically, when a company contacts you, you know, you go back and forth. You email them, they email you, blah blah blah. But don't know. So
yeah, it's tough when that happens. Especially like if they give me the cold shoulder, I just whatever.
I have a canned response with my info that's like, yeah, we have one for lasers, one for printers, and we just send it to them, and if they send one, they send one. I mean, I used to do stuff with Banggood, and they got pissed off when they sent me a Tronxy that was absolute dog shit, and I was very honest about how dog shit it was. So they've never sent us anything ever again.
Yeah, I have my 5 standard questions I just send out, and then they respond, and it's just basically that I have full control of the content. You don't get to review it. Do you offer any incentives for people that watch the video, like giving away something? Also, because or can I give the product away after I'm done with it? Some of them don't like that because that means I'm not going to make any future content. But how many people make future content unless it's they're not doing videos? So or they're full time.
I mean, but even then, like I feel like there's not a lot of like. I don't know. It depends on what you're doing, because like, what am I really supposed to do? Like with a printer, like, hey, it's still printing good.
Yeah,
Like,
they want you to do like a project with it or something. And I'm like, well, I'm not a full time creator, so.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, like, I'm not gonna like intentionally use their, unless it's like a special printer. Like, hey, like for example, like that T500, that big ass printer. I'll think of a cool project to do with that one. But like just another Ender 3 clone, okay, cool. Like it's an Ender 3 clone.
Hey Tim, you could do an awesome project with the SV07 I gave you.
So that's in the box still. I've been working. So we've been trying to get our print farm scaled back up.
Oh, don't put that on your print farm.
Anyone that wants a Soval printer, they can have all of mine. I'm not working with them again.
What happened?
Yeah. Oh,
because I've been happy with their machines. I think their machines are decent.
Big falling out with their marketing department over another creator's video and name dropping and stuff. And I wasn't happy that my name was dropped in the video that they used for marketing. So they got the big FO, and I didn't go and visit them when I was in China.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Well, you know that they didn't contact me again after my review. Instead of owning up to it and then saying, hey, you know what? We improved on it. Here's another printer. Can you give this one a try?
Yeah.
Right.
So they sent me the SV07, and I went back to them and said it's trash. And they went, well, you're one of the first 15. And I was in, and they said, well, there's a problem with the board. We're going to send you another board. So I went, okay. Waited for that. Went out to Shenzhen. They were come and see us, come and see us, come and see us. Then they dropped a video, and I was like, I'm not happy about that video. So FO. And then the girl that used to work for Soval is now working for Xtool, and she messaged me and said, hey, I'm working for Xtool now. By the way, I forgot to send the board out to you. And I was like, that's just great, isn't it? Like, no one's taking care of anything here. So I was like, do I still do the video? The video's filmed. Do I just go, hey, it's trash, and this is what I think of it? But at the end of the day, I know the details now. Is that it's one of the first 15. There's a problem with the board, and actually, the printer can just go in the trash. It's there's no point in me pursuing that kind of thing. But yeah, it annoyed me. It really did annoy me.
Well, let me ask you this:
you have linear rails?
Let me ask you this: when they sent it to you, did they tell you that it was like a pre-production unit or whatever?
No.
They didn't even tell you where to put it.
So that's just the excuse. Like, it was a pre-production.
I got a lot of crap on mine because I'm like, it doesn't say in the documentation where to attach the accelerometers, right? So I just use a little clip. I knew technically where it was going to go, but they didn't provide any documentation. I'm supposed to be going off of their.
You were asking way too much, John.
I know.
Yeah, what they should have done is they should have revisited the SV06 and not just put out some Marvel Transformers trash with a really big, ugly screen on it and stuff. It's just an ugly.
What printer are you talking about? The
SV07's ugly.
So you don't like it either, because I had people asking me, and I haven't. John sent me his. And I basically told people, I was like, well, I have one sitting here. I was told it's a pile of crap. I haven't used it yet, but do with that what you will. Like somebody didn't like it that much. I sent them a label, and they sent me the whole printer for free. I will say, though, after getting my hands on the Ender 5 S1, aside from the horrible job they did on the firmware, once I got our stuff on there, that printer actually runs really well.
Hey, John.
Like, I'm actually really impressed with like the stock cooling is really good. The stock extruder is really good. Like, they did a really good job on it, but like the software is atrocious. And it's not just like bad as in like typical touchscreen bad. I actually really had a hard time using it. And I guess there was also issues with the files, like printing from SD cards was like a whole process.
I'll tell you what happened with that one. They sent me
that. The physical printer was pretty good. They have an enclosure for it. They have a full enclosure for it for like $110.
Yeah, they told me, Tim, the problem with it is that you need to then put a sonic pad on it. That is what
Oh
Creality
dear
told me.
God!
that you
No,
have to
that's
put-
even
yeah,
worse.
because the firmware is now.
Then it should have came with the freaking Sonic pad.
What's Jerry doing?
No, I'm on
thing.
Twitch. Telling everybody to drop. It's on Twitch. We've got 19 people on YouTube watching and 24 on Twitch right now.
See, I had Twitch for a bit set up for the company stuff, and like nobody was on it. Like that was my thing. It's like nobody was on Twitch, so I just like never did anything with it.
Yeah, I thought about getting off Twitch, but I don't know, what do I got? 600. I've only got 5 subs on Twitch, but you can use your Amazon Prime monthly.
Yeah.
And I got like 691 or something 616 followers on Twitch.
I mean, that's not bad for Twitch. I feel like Twitch does better with like lower views. Like
YouTube, I got
subs and stuff or whatever.
4,900 subs, something like that.
See, I don't understand how you don't have more subs because like you've been doing this for a while and your content's good. So
yeah, I know.
It's such a weird ecosystem.
When the CR10 first came out, which I think was 2017, I've got like 300 something videos. I guess I just don't teach enough stuff. I have too many videos. They're like, wow, look what I did. And I don't know. I figured my channel would have blown up a long time ago, but I'm almost to 5,000. So I don't know.
Just on Kevin's comment there, I'm sure they fixed things since, because obviously this is as things move on with firmware and stuff, they do.
Why don't they just tell you it's why don't they? What I don't get is why these companies are, if they're actually setting up stuff that's pre-production, why aren't they upfront with people so you can be like, give them feedback to fix shit instead of you getting a shitty experience out of the box. That's what.
I'll tell you why, because by the time any company is ready to ship you something as a creator, they're also ready to ship it to their customers. And what they want you to do generally is go, you've got a week to get this out and review it. And Tom Sandlander said it best: if you're not first, you're last. So if you get a printer that's like 6 months later, if your audience is going to like it, but no one else is going to really care, in which case, are you putting a great deal of time into something, creating content, which has actually been done 100 times by previous creators? So it's a really weird way of working. But, again, I went out with his boy in space. We talked a lot about content creation, and all his stuff.
Does your wife know you went out with boy in space?
Mate, she was like, yeah, you can go out there.
That's why you had to That's why you had the pregnancy test.
Yeah, like that's my whole thing is like the short form content does pretty well, and like even when we like post just random stuff that I just kind of do off the cuff, it like honestly kind of upsets me. It's like, okay, so like, is there just no reason for me to do anything longer form anymore? Like, does nobody give a shit anymore? Like, why am I spending all this time doing detailed stuff? Or do I basically just got to rush through and like give everybody a high level overview, and like, or do I break up or do I break up a long form video into multiple short form ones, but then they're all scattered across multiple videos? Like, what the hell do you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, but of course, then obviously on YouTube, you're not monetized particularly well for short form. So, like TikTok, you are, but on
how do you make money on TikTok? I have no clue.
Well, similar to the way you do it on YouTube, it's monetized. Your adverts, and if you're selling something, or if you're selling your own product.
So I heard that they rolled out like a shopping thing. I was wondering if we should like. I haven't looked into how to do that. Like, is that something where we can like integrate our website into it, and then it just kind of pushes the products?
Homie Jam 3D Jamie says I need to post every day on TikTok if you want to get noticed, which I don't, and I'm not going to, not even try. But she has raccoon videos where she's feeding raccoons and all kinds of stuff. She's got a billion people watching them. I've got 4 or 5 people to watch my videos on TikTok, if that.
I'd watch
TikTok.
Tim showering in the morning behind the screen.
That's on my OnlyFans. Okay.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you're not the first originator of doing 3D printing and porn, I suppose.
I mean, well, if I'm not on the bleeding edge, then whatever. It's not. Is it even worth doing now?
For it.
People want to see my hot end, okay? I have all sorts of hot ends. I got big ones, small ones, high flow, low flow. Depends on the day.
Well, I've seen that people do pretty good doing like live like TikTok shops and stuff. even selling 3D prints. It seems like they get
I would the only time we've done where we like sell prints is like at craft shows and stuff, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Krista posted a really cool print this morning of the umbrella and the rain coming down. Was it Abby who did that file? I forget who made the file, but that was really cool.
she found it. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be that shocked because her SV06 has like the upgraded cooling, but that thing was bridging like crazy with no support. I was like, damn.
Bunny, I think she's called, who did the elephant with the umbrella. I think.
Tim can sell the anti-drop your pocket.
3D printing bunny.
3D print bunny. Okay,
right.
All right. Yeah, I didn't download that and print it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And one thing about printers, Tim, you say if you're not, or like Sam, you're not first to the market, you're last. With a lot of companies, you can revisit things 3 or 4 or 5 months later. People still want to buy them; they're interested, and that's a good ploy to get a product from a company. Is if their marketing is going downhill and you want to review something to boost it back up, get more interest.
Like here's the thing. Like I feel like I'm curious to see what you guys think that have messed with the Solval printers. In general, I feel like up until the SV07, most of their printers have been pretty good and like ready to sell. I feel like the SV07 is the first one I've heard people just be like, "This is shit." Because I've been buying their printers, and they have never, for the record, they have never sent me any of their printers for free. I have purchased every single Solval. I have 2 SV01s, SV01 Pro. I had the SV03. I ended up upgrading it and selling it once I was done with it because I just didn't need it. I have so many machines. I literally just gave one of my employees a printer yesterday because I have so many damn printers here. But I have the SV06. I have the SV06 Plus. All of those printers have been great printers. So I'm really curious to see how bad the SV07 is. Cause I think in terms of printers still in the boxes, I have that one and I have the Sunlu S8 Pro. And I'm probably going to do the Sunlu S8 Pro next because that one's been sitting there for a while. And that one I found out they have those on deep freaking discount. It's basically a 300 by 300 by 400 for $200. And yes, it has an 8-bit board in it, but like one, if you really want to go faster and not change the board, you can put Clipper on it. But 2, it's a big printer for cheap. It's an older model, but like we have had people asking us about it. And I also had the Sunlu S8, and that was a decent little printer once I upgraded the layer fan. But in general, like I felt like Solval, up until, like I said, the SV07 has been doing a pretty good job at not just shotgunning a billion printers out like freaking Creality does.
I don't see a print there. Is he printing in midair, or is there a print there? Sebastian,
I think it looks like it's just a small print.
There's a small print. It's
okay.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't need to compensate with giant prints.
A bit loud. That's why I turned off the volume here.
He doesn't need to compensate with giant prints. Okay.
Okay.
You need a microscope to see it.
Cool.
That's kidding.
Yeah. Do you want to know how I know my child?
I love your video. What you did for Law and Order.
Hey, John, you probably like this. So Costco right now for $30, you can get 2 30-foot 12-gauge extension cords.
For how much?
$30 for 12-gauge extension.
Hey, honey, we got. I'm sorry, we have the Apprentice membership.
The what?
Are you calling me honey?
The Apprentice membership.
Hey, Tim, you still got?
We're part of Sam's Club.
Do you still have that Star Wars head I sent you like 4 years ago? Because a lot of people they might remember it. But
Jerry, every time I go on Etsy because I clicked on your Ecto 1, every time now it shows up in my like advertisement feed. Your Ecto 1.
Cool.
Is that your name? Is that
That's awesome. I think this is about as dialed in as I'm getting for patches for leather. That one came out pretty good.
Is the mouth functional on that?
Thanks, Tim.
It is not.
Well, now Sam's not interested.
I could get. Have you guys gotten the wild like adult toy ads for AliExpress? Have you ever seen those pop up?
I don't typically surf like that, but.
Well, can I tell you a Chinese story? Can I tell you a Chinese story about a sex toy?
Hello, Dan. How are you today?
Go ahead. We're all ears now, Sam.
Come on, Sam.
As we say in the States, the floor is yours.
There's the toy for you, Sam. Just put it in there, and
so Scott and I go to a company called iWe Color, and we met them.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, we met them in Birmingham. Now, there's quite an interesting, because I was really interested in what I thought was a small business, but actually, the guy in charge actually isn't a small business as such. He has another business that he launched during COVID, and he's been very, very successful. So, working and living and buying property in Shenzhen is enormously expensive. So, like an apartment is about £1.2 million or $1.2 million there.
And you don't actually like own the land either. Like the government like leases it for a long time.
And they may not ever finish building it.
So investors into the Shenzhen build basically have made a load of money, because the more they put in, the more rent they can charge. You know, you can have hundreds and hundreds of flats, apartments, or whatever. Anyway, so this guy has made some money during COVID selling masks. And he sells a lot of kind of weird stuff. And I was like, oh, what do you sell? And he's like, oh, import, export, blah, blah, blah. And he was being kind of quite generic about it. And all of a sudden I see on his, so he's got a Boss tea table. And he was quite flamboyant in his approach to things. He had very, very expensive tea and various other things, cigars. He's giving out cigars to Scott. Scott's, smoking away. All of a sudden I notice he has a fleshlight on his desk, on his desk. And I'm like, oh, okay. So,
and anybody that doesn't know, that's the opposite of a pocket rocket.
Yeah. And guess where they originated? Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
The factory.
So,
does he sell them?
He does, yeah, very successfully apparently. And
so
I said,
you've got the hookup, okay?
I said, what country is your biggest seller? And he goes, the United States. I was like, okay, but
you do beta trials on them too?
Can you imagine if those there's a bug where it accidentally rips it off? We're gonna patch that in a future update.
I don't think we do that.
I see it.
There's the video, and then of course, then there's me.
Can you try it before you buy it, Sam?
Oh God.
Yeah,
but only the floor model.
Only on Amazon. Try before you buy. What about the next guy?
Dolls as well.
Wait, what? Like entire dolls?
Yeah, they do the full doll. The
oh
full
my God!
Experience doll. He does those.
That's wild.
So Sam is going to be doing a review.
And then
what we can expect.
What are the key points you're going to touch on for the review?
Well, here's the really funny thing that I haven't told you yet. The only address that I had on me was John's.
And they're like, oh, it's going to the tripod. Oh, perfect name.
Your wife's going to be like, John, do we need to talk?
Didn't have your own address, just John's.
But isn't it crazy though that all of a sudden you're kind of like, you're talking about 3D printing, then all of a sudden you notice at the peripheral vision, and I'm like, what is that? And he's like, oh yeah, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
okay.
so see, Sam wouldn't give Creality my address for that, but for this stuff, I know the right person.
Listen, they've got a big dartboard with your face written on it.
You'd be like, hey. I have a
am
surprise in the guest room for Sam.
Off in a sec here,
it could have been worse. On a shelf, he could have had multicolored motorized dongs sitting there,
my God,
swirling around.
Dear, oh dear.
But anyway,
next.
Okay, and how I know about Vegas. Back in the day, I used to work in. I used to work in staffing. Okay, temporary staffing, like labor ready. And we had that account. One of our sales guys actually had to go to that company.
What's the name of the company?
Flashlight.
Oh, the company's Flashlight too. Okay.
Flashlight.
We have a skin color filament, and I was gonna call it Leshflight.
So
I actually have mock-ups. You know how like on the filament pictures, the companies have like the spool next to a printed thing, and I was gonna have a picture of the spool next to a flashlight as like the printed object, you know. But I thought that'd be a little
looks like someone's in the background with your flashlight.
You got a delivery, Tim?
Hey Tim,
Oh,
we got your
apparently, yeah.
flashlight.
This is Matt. Matt works for me. We're working on one of his printers.
What's up, Matt?
He brought me steak apparently.
Oh.
I love steak.
Is he there to give you a massage?
No.
Hey, does Matt want to say hi to everybody?
He's got his KP3 KP3S that we're gonna work on that I gave him. It's been sitting in my garage collecting dust, and he's like, "I like small printers." Like, hey, I have one. You just got to put it back together and splice some wires for the fans.
Have them come over and say hi to the world.
They want you to come over and say hi. This is everybody. Just talking to this here. Just talking to that mic. Hello.
Hey,
Hi there. We're all Tim's boyfriends.
What? I couldn't hear. It's on my headphone. But I am going to drop off because I'm going to get this going here. So yeah, Krista just walked in. A 3-legged bear named Tripod takes 3 cans of White Claw from Florida's family's backyard. That sounds like a Florida band headline.
There's bear, there's tripod. That's practically about you.
I'm like, okay, so it's a bear named Tripod. That's just, I'm like, no, we were here.
Well, guys, you guys have a
Take
good
care.
weekend. Thanks for having me.
Thank
Sam, Jerry,
Okay.
Matt, Kenny, John, Ethan's dad, Sebastian.
Later,
Take it easy,
Yeah,
guys.
it's been getting interesting.
Later.
All right.
I'll wait till flashlights. Flashlights.
Well, that was good. Let's move on from that.
Yeah, Kenny, we don't need to get them out, mate.
We don't want to have a sponsorship from them.
No, I was like, yeah. I mean, it's quite disturbing, isn't it? But it is what it is.
And you know what's funny? And I'm changing the subject. You know what's funny about all you guys talking about turning away reviews and stuff? I don't even do surveys. I mean, you get service fixed, like your internet's broken. They come. Well, how do we do? Or you go to get your car service. Well, how do we do? I don't even do surveys, let alone reviews. I mean, am I right, man? Surveys are crazy.
So I always ask, one of my other questions is when do you need this released by? Well, and I always have the rebuttal in there, usually in the reply when they give me a timeline. I said, and they say, well, does this work for you? I said, as long as the product works as advertised and I don't have any issues. And then that's usually when I get ghosted. Is after that response, because it's like, if there's a delay, if you trust your product, then yes, then the review will take X amount of time from filming to release.
And
so,
on these reviews, you guys are not getting compensated, right?
Most of the time, absolutely not. The only review the only time I ever got compensated was when I did a live stream from the car marker. They asked me to teach people how to use it. And I said, well, then there's going to be a charge for that because you're asking for me to do a Q&A for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's my time being eaten up.
That question, Kenny, depends on the reviewer and how big their channel is. If they're really big and they don't have the time,
I mean,
they on top of the products.
Yeah, they will come to you and ask. Some of them will say, how much do you charge? And there's no harm in that because time is money. And they're using your platform to advertise. But the thing is that's when you see some of them will be like, first look, or let's take a look at this. They're never saying they're reviewing, and plus it will say promotional video. So then okay, there's no harm in any of that because again, it's a business. You need to be able, especially people that are doing it even part-time, full-time, it's a career of some type, right? So money does exchange hands.
One thing on my live stream, no one ever directly asks anybody else on the live stream if they're paid for something. It's kind of a gray zone. Don't do that. I mean, I know nobody has, but no one in chat or on the live stream ever directly asks somebody on the live stream about certain things they shouldn't be asking.
Even if they give away something, like for me, for like Engraving, I just came to them with an idea for mine. I'm like, I would just like to do something different. And they threw in another printer. But I still had my pluses and minuses. I really think that damn thing needs a screen, but it was me.
Yeah.
So.
Did they ship the M5?
What's that?
Did they ship you the M5 as well?
No.
Okay.
I think it's kind of late for that anyways. I probably would turn them down because it looks like a fantastic printer. It's just I don't have the room. And, I'll probably just give it away after right after the video anyways to someone. So, I mean, after my live stream with whoever wins that one that's from my video, I'm going to pack it up and ship it off to someone that would probably want it. The current one I have.
Yeah,
So,
Matt German's always after a printer.
Well, we know that.
And hugs.
I'm trying to stay away from bed slingers. I prefer Core XY, and I'm trying to stay away from any bed slingers.
It's a good bed slinger, though. I mean, it literally just needs that to make it and Nero, when he did his live stream yesterday, he said it right. I mean, it literally would be one of the best printers out there if it just had a cheap $10 screen on it.
When I take over the world, of course, hugs and kisses for everyone.
Liz, are you on Maker Deck right now, or do you have time to pop in for a little bit?
Yeah, that's
what I want, Pet Liz.
It's taken a while for the Core XY movement to really, dig into the, Cartesian, bed slinger market. So
I'm thinking about turning my Hypercube into a Voron, but I got to strip it down to nothing, and then the extrusion might be too small. It's 400 by 400 by 500.
So Creality, with all their different versions, I keep on asking them, when's the V2 of the Ender 5 Plus coming out?
Okay.
I'm like, it was one of their most successful printers, and they never did a V2 on it. Come on.
That's weird.
I invited Denise, as a matter of fact, to our live stream today on Twitter, or X as it's called. And I don't know if she knows who I am or not, but I did send her an invite.
She knows who you are. You're the Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry.
I mean, the Ender 5 Plus has the structure and everything pretty much that they could make a version 2 really easily out of it, and they just never have.
No, it's a shame. It's a shame.
It's a shame. It really is.
It's a crying shame.
So you're going to be here on the 27th, right?
Yeah, I think so. I fly out on the 26th, I think it is, and then I need to send you the date still. I've had a bad week at work, to say the least, and we're trying to get straight on a few things. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm getting the truck serviced.
Are you in Munich on Thursday?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I will also be there.
I'll see you there then. Awesome. They've given me a script. Actually, I've got. This is my Creality script for the show, and they've called it the Creality Brand Carnival. So hopefully they won't want me to do any juggling or anything.
They didn't invite me for the circus act. I'm so.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, if you come on up. Well, actually, Sam will only be here for literally a few hours before we drive out. Because Thursday morning we're driving.
Let me have a look at my
really early, and we may have a trailer. So
a tripod. Do you let Sam do any of the driving, or is he just hanging out in the back seat eating pancakes?
Okay. All right. So we had to pull the cars out of the driveway because it was getting resealed. And I said to Sam, "Hey, want to move the truck?" He's like, "Sure." I'll let Sam say the rest.
So I got in the truck, the wrong side of the truck,
right?
And then I'm looking. I'm like, "Where's the gear stick? Where's how do you put it into drive?" And eventually, I realize it's like a column shift. So then I start moving forward, and I'm just like, it's like this. Like I'm this little guy, and then the truck is like this. And I did manage to move it out. I mean, it took a few minutes, but we managed to get it out and work out where the controls were and stuff. And then John was like, "Oh yeah, just drive it around there." I was like, "Nah, I'm just going to park it here, and you can move it." It was it was kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you see me. I picked him up and driven him in the truck. So it did take a little while to realize it was. I'm not a fan of column shifters at all. Just be clear. I think it's still. I feel like that's meant for other vehicles, but yeah, it was. But you did not look too awkward driving it. So But yeah, it's pretty intimidating when you get in it. It's a big truck, and there's bigger trucks out there than that's a F-150 Super Crew with a 6-foot bed. So it's a pretty long truck. And it's going in the shop on Monday. So it's getting all the rust repaired on the bottom. I drove around on
$5,000.
I used to have an F-350 diesel dually 4-door long bed. And that thing you had to drive right down the middle of the road because the dual tires. You can't drift. You know, any little drifting, you're hitting bumps either side.
So we go to Meyer, and I got the handicap placard. And I said, all the cripples are out, so there's no parking. So he's like, where are you going? So this thing won't fit anywhere. So I literally parked all the way at the end of the parking lot. So, because it doesn't fit. The truck doesn't literally fit anywhere. But we'll be taking that to Murph instead. It was a lot easier to pack that for Murph than the Explorer. So,
yeah, 26th. I get in at 2:00. And when are we leaving?
We're leaving the next morning, probably by 5:30 a.m. And no later than 6 a.m.
Surely we're leaving. We're going to be leaving Wednesday morning, right?
What? You're coming in Wednesday morning?
No. So Tuesday I get in, and then we're leaving.
Oh, Tuesday. Oh, so yeah, we're leaving Thursday morning.
Okay, so we got a day.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So
yeah,
hey Sam.
Yeah.
While you're in the U.S., at least one time, try a chicken fried steak and eggs, country gravy on it. You'll love it.
Okay.
Rather than pancakes, have a chicken fried steak and eggs.
I don't have pancakes every time. I just
no, not anymore. Not anymore.
The first time I came for Murph or whatever it was, I went major overkill, and then since then, and since I've been doing the gym and all that kind of stuff, I've kind of like last time I was out. I mean, I had one day of pancakes, didn't I? Well, I say one day, one morning of pancakes.
One morning. And it wasn't even the super pancake. I'm telling you, it was literally just a couple pancakes, not like with all the berries and whipped cream and stuff. It was still pretty laid back for Sam's standards. So
chat's rolling here. I'm having trouble keeping up.
Hey, who said to pick them up at the? If there's time, but
I hear that Canadian meat's quite good as well, Liz.
Oh no, that'll be too early. So we won't be there. We'll pick up Liz though. We'll make sure that we have time to pick up Liz.
He's gone keto. I haven't. My brother's on keto though. That's it's quite a disturbing diet to be on. No, nothing like that.
That's quiet.
Keto,
but, maybe I'll have to fire up the smoker though for you, Sam, because there's really no good barbecue here. So,
well, when you ill after your last barbecue?
What's that?
When you ill after your last barbecue?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I had. It had to have been COVID because I was out for a month. So
my sister and her husband went to New York a few weeks ago, and I had to babysit all her cats. But anyway, she brought me back some cheese curds from New York, and it tasted exactly. They're like little cheese chunks. It tasted exactly like string cheese I buy my wife at the store, mozzarella or whatever. It tasted exactly the same. Some people say cheese curds, oh, they're terrible. Well, it tastes just like chunks of cheese to me, but really good. She brought me back. You
can buy them here.
I didn't know that. Hoffman hot dogs. She brought me back a big thing of Hoffman hot dogs. They were frozen and wrapped in foil multiple times, and they took them on the plane. And they're all linked together because they make them back in where New York or Syracuse, I think it was, where she went. So they've been real good.
Yeah, it's there's no good barbecue here at all. But whatever I had, I mean, so when I did my last video, that took over 2 days of filming because I couldn't talk for more than like 20 seconds without losing my breath. It was like, and then my throat was starting to get sore, a lot more sore. It was literally, it was a struggle. So, and the daughter has been sick for over 2 weeks. Now she, as of today, finally is starting to feel better.
Has anybody heard of this brand?
No.
Those look good though. So John, did you take a COVID test at all or no?
3, all negatives, but they were at the home ones. So
okay.
And we all know how
those are big ones. Work.
So
yeah, they're little ones, big ones, just chunks of cheese.
Well, So Marcus, last time I had it was what was it, December of last year or 2 years ago, 2021, and our whole family got it, and I got the worst, which was like a really bad flu, and it lasted for about a month. I mean, for it to completely go away. Wife had a really bad, horrible cough. Daughter she thought she had strep, and the oldest one just felt a little bit under the weather. So 4 totally different symptoms.
So you can get deep fried cheese curds, Jerry, at Culver's. Culver's is
I've heard of fried cheese curds, but I've never had them. Are they the same as what we have? They're battered. They just deep fry them in raw cheese.
Exactly.
I think Dan needs to do the one chip challenge with Vegemite.
I heard some kid recently died doing the one chip challenge a couple of hours after he did it. Something happened. I didn't see
he must have allergies or something, because there's no explanation for that.
Yeah, it's all it is. It's a chemical reaction. I mean, so look at it this way. So they tried to give it to sharks, right? The ghost peppers and stuff. No effects on them. It's us that have a problem with these peppers. So
Capucin.
Yep.
Capucin or Capucin.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was, I don't know if it was Mythbusters. Yeah, I think it was a Mythbusters thing with they put it in balloons and stuff.
That professional food eater, his name is Joel Hansen. Has anybody ever seen him?
Yes.
When he eats really hot stuff, he he likes to rock. He found out when he eats really hot stuff, if he keeps rocking, it's not as bad. And if he's doing a rocking motion as he eats it.
That's self-soothing.
All right. Time for dinner.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Zach popping in. Hold on.
Oh, Zach.
See you, John.
Zach.
See you
later, buddy.
Fun.
Be safe. Have a great day. Keep up the great videos. You're doing awesome.
Well, at least one person's watching.
Lift up your hand, bend it, and go like this.
All right, later, peeps.
See ya.
Don't go to the hospital. Okay.
Good day.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Did you figure it out, Zach?
Oh, he loves them.
Figure what out?
Oh, the connecting to the K5 or whatever it is.
I don't know.
K1.
It wasn't mine. I was trying to help
Here, I'll give you a whole bite. Chew it up. Don't swallow it whole. Here.
You see this thing?
I like food that has a slight bite, but I can't handle hot. If I get a chicken fried steak with gravy, I put Tabasco sauce on it to give it a nice flavor, but I can't handle real hot.
I eat Carolina Reaper, man.
Yeah, we
I've never tried nothing that hot. If I did, I'd have to do a video on it.
Yeah,
I don't do hot. Probably the hottest food I eat is what I had just a few minutes ago. I had a shawarma bowl.
I like hot, but I don't like the consequences, so I don't do it.
Yeah.
Dan,
what consequences?
Don't even talk about it.
I'm not gonna. All right.
Hey, good hot stuff needs to burn 3 times.
What he's gonna say, if it goes in hot, it comes out hot, but we don't need to go there.
I said 3 times it needs to burn. You only said 2.
It's like you say later, I feel like I was eating glass, but anyway.
So can I show you guys something?
How can you show us something when you've had a emoji on ever since you've been here?
Yeah.
Or you want to share something?
I can show you my screen.
Okay. Ta-da! Here we go. What happened?
So, some of you guys might know I'm a software developer by day or whatever. So I'm always thinking of how I can combine software and 3D printing. The two things I love. So when I was doing my 3D scanning app, I learned quite a bit about meshes and geometry and how they're stored in the files, like STL files and stuff. And I thought it'd be cool if you could do like a reverse mesh search. So let's say you downloaded a mesh or an STL, and you have it on your hard drive, and maybe you really like it and you want to you want to print it and sell it, but you don't know what the licensing is, and you have no idea where you got the file. So this kind of solves that problem. Like here's a file from 3D Print Bunny. I just loaded it from my hard drive into the. It's all web based, but it's just loaded in the browser. And it creates a hash from it and searches in a database for that hash, and then finds it.
That's pretty slick.
It's like a internet spider.
So I show you. So here's a pretty simple. It's just a number 1, right? But look here, it found it out of all the models. So I've indexed all of printables. So out of all the files and printables, it only found one match, and it's this one little letter 1 on this.
Oh, that's wild.
Tag.
I've got a question for you, Marcus.
Yeah.
That file you just showed from 3D Print Bunny, does it print in that orientation, or you print it sideways?
Yeah, I'll show you. So you download it in this orientation. So you actually print it.
Right.
Yeah, you actually print it sideways like that, and I guess it bridges.
Yeah, it's bridging. So I got a question. Are you planning on doing other sites like Thingiverse? Thingiverse has been around for a lot longer than printables have.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff on Thingiverse.
Right. I do want to I want to index Thingiverse next. I want to do printables first because I felt that printables would, to me, that's the definitive location of models. If it's on printables.
I love printables. And then Bamboo's coming out with their own repository out here.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so like in the last couple of years, absolutely for sure, printables is number 1. But going back before printables was even around, there's years and years and years of stuff on Thingiverse. And I can see this being really super useful for, I got this file I downloaded from Thingiverse in 2015.
Right.
I don't know even how to find it again.
Right. Yeah, I'm totally gonna index Thingiverse. The reason I did printables first is because if a model's on both sites, I wanted to take you to the printables one. And the reason for that, really, and Thingiverse has had lots of opportunity to add these features, but they haven't. But like printables enforces a policy that if there are some people, and it's not against the law or anything, if you found a model and it just randomly and you don't know where it came from, you can upload it to Thingiverse or printables or whatever. But on printables, when you do that, there's a checkbox for that. So it tells you like this person owns this file, So it just gives you way more important information regarding like what the rights are. If the person who posted it actually owns it, and then lists out all the licensing and stuff.
There's a Jerry on printables too. If you ever want to have one on your nightstand, you can talk to me at night if you printed it and painted it.
That sounds like a nightmare.
I don't need nightmares. Yeah, nightmare.
It's ironically, I'm actually just looking at that.
I'm surprised Sam hasn't printed it yet.
Well, maybe I have. Maybe it lays next to me at night and it takes the place of the pillow.
Next door to Michael.
Okay. Yeah, well, Michael's always in my wallet. That's the thing.
So here's. This is, Chris Perillo's Qforge thing. But then, so if you happen to load a model that isn't already indexed, then you just enter a URL, right? And then it looks just like this. And there's a way to update it. So like, eventually I want to do QR codes too, but it doesn't make sense to do QR codes when this domain might change. Like I don't know the final home of it, but I want the QR code to be like, it'll be a dynamic QR code. So you can give out this QR code and it'll always point to your model. If the location of that model changes, you just update the website.
That's pretty nice.
So I'm going to add additional functionality besides just this, like a reverse mesh search. But so what do you think about names for it? Like Chris Travis come out, I thought, with a decent name when he saw this. He said, "What the STL?"
That's a good one.
Isn't somebody else doing something similar? Because I've seen something similar about this.
Things has kind of a something kind of similar, but it only looks on things. So like if you find a model on things you like, you can look at geometrically similar models. I believe that's about all it is.
So I'll tell you about things, and things does have a similar solution where you can upload a model and it'll find it if you haven't changed the orientation at all. So like if you haven't, like a lot of times you'll download these and you'll open them up in 3D Builder and you'll resize them and reorient them because that's how you're going to print it. And then you'll resave it over top of it because there's no reason to save the original. And now you've modified the file. Things won't find that, like because you've modified it. The way that my reverse hash works, orientation doesn't matter. If you mirror it, it doesn't matter. Size doesn't matter. And it's actually something that I invented, and I patented it. And that's I find I just got they just filed the original patent, which is why I'm just now going public with this. So.
Oh, so now you can go on Shark Tank, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So what it says patent pending, it's actually true. It actually is patent pending.
I'm gonna go on printables and rename this file to Jerry.
But yeah. So I'm gonna reindex. I'm gonna index Thingiverse, and then I don't know what will be next, but
don't they rate limit you if you try to grab all the files there?
No, yeah, printables also has been really. I'm super kind as far as my scraping goes. Like I put delays between the downloads and stuff, and make it super efficient where I'm not bogging down their servers so much that where they probably don't even notice that I'm scraping them. But printables has been okay with other people scraping. Like printables hasn't complained when things have scraped them and stuff. And another thing about this is when the way that things indexes stuff is they actually have your model. I don't have your model's not stored in here. You're only seeing the model because I loaded it, from my hard drive, and it's showing it to you. But what's actually stored in the database is just this number right here. And so so if you have a file on Patreon, you can still index it, right? And it doesn't mean that you're sharing the file with the world. It's just people you can put your Patreon link here, right? Instead of the printables.com.
So here's the question. Does it find similar or does it find exact matches only?
It's exact, but it's immune to scale changes, orientation changes, or like mirror changes. Like you can mirror it on any axis. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it is. But when you release it's not trying to detect piracy, like, oh, if someone copied my file, does it exist somewhere else on the internet? It really just is a reverse search.
But it could be used for that.
Yeah, I think there's a good use for it, and I think, especially when I add additional tools like the QR code and stuff, that it can be like the one index that indexes, all the models. And so what you would do is, if you're a creator like Wexter, he creates a new model and he's about to post it on Patreon or something. He just adds it here first with a link to his Patreon, and so no one else can then download his model and then put some other URL, right? So if you're the first person to put the URL with that model, you basically, you're in charge of it.
There you go, Stan. You can have it on your shelf and call it the Jerry.
It's a thing of beauty, there, Jerry.
Yeah, it's on printables anyway.
Our remixes a lot for that, so someone can put a hat on it or something.
Matt,
never mind.
Yeah. What?
I'm having a brain fart. What's your program called again that you love?
Luban.
Luban. Okay, so yeah, the same guy that does Luban, they got something similar. I'm trying to look it up.
All right.
What?
I don't know. I don't even have a such in. It does have. We have this.
Mesh save. Yeah, it's called mesh save.
Mixer or match save. Oh, yeah, but that.
Yeah, tell me more about it. What does it do?
MeshSafe is a standalone program developed by Luban team to help 3D artists, designers, and modelers track their 3D models.
I think Sam and Matt are about to fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot, guys. I'll catch you soon. Keep well, and we'll see you later on. Cheers, guys. Well
have a great day. We're looking forward to seeing your next couple videos.
Thanks, guys. Take care. I love that program, by the way. Ethan's dad. That's Marcus. It looks really interesting. But I'm going to bounce. All right, guys. See you later on. Take care. Cheers now.
Take care.
Take care. So, Marcus, I got a question for you. I am not a programmer at all. I have an idea for a project that involves some Arduino code. Do you know of anywhere I could go to learn about running code on Arduino?
Yeah, I have zero experience with Arduino. Unfortunately, I don't even know what language they use. Is it Python?
Basically C++.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's something I never got into. But I tell you one thing: ChatGPT is free, and ChatGPT can answer almost any programming question.
I did not even think. I completely forgot about that. Arduino can use Python. I'm pretty sure it's the basic Arduino is C or C++.
Even a lot of the code on that website I just showed you was written by ChatGPT.
So what I want to do, so we've got a zoo here, and Lacey has recently moved into reptiles. We have some reptiles that are nocturnal, and they don't need any kind of extra heat. They need basically room temperature and high humidity. And like I've got the humidity covered, that's easy. But I want light to go on the top to pull sunrise and sunset times for my location, and control NeoPixels to simulate the sunrise sunset.
That's cool. I've always been super interested in hardware, and I wish that I knew how to do that kind of stuff, because I have like other invention ideas as far as electronics and hardware, but I have no way to pull it off because I have no experience with electronics really, or Arduino. But
Matt's emoji looks like the Tin Man's butthole. But anyway, keep going.
But yeah, I mean that that kind of stuff. It's honestly it's not that complicated. The hardware side of it, I'm going to use an ESP32 which has Wi-Fi, and there's a lot of stuff already existing that you can get. There's like I guess you'd call them packages for the NeoPixel, packages for Wi-Fi, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Pete Savas in chat said Arduino uses Python. I thought it might, but I wasn't sure.
No, natively it uses C and C++.
Okay, so maybe it also supports Python. I don't know.
But you don't even really need an Arduino for that. There are solutions that you can just use, like the LED strips, which you can install the Tasmoda firmware on. So just install it and set the times you want, and it should be fine.
Yeah, if you can do embedded programming, which is basically what creating electronic devices is, yeah, you can do so, like you'd be on Shark Tank next week, because people love hardware gadgets. Like people spend money on electronics.
And for that reason, I'm out. No.
Oh yeah, anything that makes their life easier, because electronics are typically cheap to purchase.
Yeah, but it happens if you release a design or somewhere, you might find it on AliExpress 2 or 3 months later, and some Chinese guy just produced it if you put it on GitHub before.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Kenny, didn't you say your truck was doing an update on firmware today and you got stuck and couldn't drive it for a while?
Yeah, when I got to the actually, I wasn't stuck. I just parked at the VA at the hospital, and it popped up.
So I can do Bluetooth, and I've done like Bluetooth apps, like native iOS apps that talk to Bluetooth stuff. And that was super exciting to be able to like open. I used to work for a real estate company that sold a electronic lockbox. You know, that realtors use. So when your house is up for sale, they'll put electronic lockbox on there so all the realtors in the area can access your house and the key in the lockbox. And so I wrote software, you know, that communicate over Bluetooth with the lockbox. And to be able to hit a button on your phone and have a piece of hardware open, like that's just the most exciting thing, I think, to be able to control hardware.
Yeah, but it's also potential of getting hacked itself from criminals.
I've got 2 hardwired cameras outside in the backyard that quit working about 6 months ago. So I unstapled them from the eaves. I unscrewed them. I was able to actually bring them in the house, hooked up right here on the desk, and I spliced them. And the wire combination obviously didn't match from the camera to the cat cable, whatever it was. Anyway, I took some wild guesses. I was looking at my cameras till I got them working. They both were working fine. So I soldered the connections, heat shrunk them, put tape on them, took them back outside, put one of them up, stapled it under the eaves. And guess what? I stapled the wire twice with my staple gun. And those wires are so small, I killed the camera. And then the second one that was working right here on the desk, once I hooked it up and didn't staple anything, it wasn't working. So I give up. So there's those 2 cameras that I spent a few hours working on, still don't work. But actually, one of them was working for a little bit, but it was really bright. I don't know why it was really bright in the daytime. It shouldn't have been that bright, but it kind of worked. So I don't know. I give up. It sucks.
I'm not good with wires, so I have the Blink. They're wireless. They use your Wi-Fi, and
they gotta have power. If you use wireless cameras, they gotta have power.
Yeah. So you use these lithium AA batteries. Put 2 of them in there, and they last 6 months. The battery lasts.
Blink is terrible.
It is terrible, but I
hate it.
It's easy.
I literally bought like 5 of those cameras on a Prime Day, like $120, and less than 6 months later, I quit using them. I ended up buying Wise, which is a lot better.
Are those wireless too?
They're Wi-Fi. You plug them in. No, they're not completely wireless. You plug them in the USB, but you know, the image quality is just incredibly good. It's got the night vision is not infrared night vision. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of insanely highly sensitive sensor, but and they're cheap. They're super cheap. It's like $40 for an outdoor rated pan camera, so it'll tilt and pan.
Yeah, my night vision used to work, and now they're just black at night. They used to work.
What do you have?
I don't remember the brand name.
Yeah, I remember the first time I got to look through real night vision. That was cool.
So let's see here.
I'm talking Army.
Many manufacturers also offer small solar panels, so you don't even have to recharge it every 6 months or so. You can just hook up a small solar panel somewhere and it will recharge automatically.
Las Vegas gets so damn hot, it usually burns up anything plastic like that, unless it was really high quality.
Yeah, I got my next power bill. Ouch.
Mine went down. Mine was like $470 last month, and now it's like $360. It went down, which is still ridiculously high. For mine
was a little over 2, but that's high because I got panels.
My cameras are called Z Moto 720p HD.
Who let the dogs out? Don't.
Zach, they're Z Motos.
God, supports are a pain to get out sometimes. Oh, by the way, Jerry, what I said about resin supports, I take that back.
Yeah,
well,
I never use heavy supports are usually really harder than hell to get off, and they hurt your hands. I usually try to go with dense, light supports, or if I have to, I go to medium. But I try to stay away from heavy.
Yeah, because that split Yoda's arms and hands into two pieces, and the supports on those things. Oh man, I was getting irritated.
Most of the time, when you have a solid base on the bottom, I set it in a tray. I take my spatula and I go between the support and the bottom plate, and I completely cut that off. Then you can grab the supports and with your hand wearing gloves and twist them off and pop them. But I got to usually get the bottom off first to make them easier to remove. And then if you really can't get them off, put them under hot water. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I often break the model itself then.
So, Jerry, share my screen.
Go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
This is a $40 camera on the side of my house.
That's good quality, yeah. And that's wireless?
I had to run power to it, but it's just a USB.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me to have to run power to all the cameras outside, that's not feasible, but yeah.
Can you zoom in on the bird?
Cool.
Dang, that's like a storm coming through.
I can't move my cameras around at all. You get what you get.
Yeah, it's rainy and gross today.
Nice.
Can you zoom with them on the bird there?
The camera itself doesn't zoom. They actually have a second camera you can add on to the top of this camera that has a lot further. It's a fixed length, but it's zoomed in.
That sounds convoluted.
That's funny.
And you can swap between them. It's fantastic because then you've got one camera with the wide angle looking where you want. But then if you need to look somewhere close, it does motion tracking. So you'll have the wide angle tracking, and you'll also have the tight angle tracking with it. It's such a simple thing, but that's fantastic. If somebody breaks in the yard or something, you'll have the wide angle view of them, and you'll have a close up shot as well. That'll be better quality.
Yeah, Cadillac converters seem to be slowing down. I haven't been hearing that in the news.
Yeah, whatever's hot on TV, that's what they capitalize on. It's still happening, the same as always. It's just they've moved on to some other story. What the news always does.
I thought about getting a shield on my truck, but nah.
The Happy Extruder says, can you pinch zoom on those, Zach? On those, right?
You can from the app, but I'm looking at it on the webpage, so.
Well, yeah, obviously you can't on your monitor.
Dope.
All right, I've been streaming for 3 hours, 35 minutes. Got 30 people watching over 2 platforms. I'm thinking about raiding on Twitch. I'm going to raid in the Maker Deck. And thank you for the donation, Kate. I really appreciate it. Anybody that sent me any money on PayPal, I haven't checked that yet. But if you do, I will. Congrats next Saturday. There's my outro. Okay, Twitch people, raiding a Maker Deck. Thank you very much. We'll be back here same time, same bat channel next Saturday at 1 p.m. Everybody have an awesome day. And everybody watch here. The raid is starting now.
Thanks, Sebastian, for coming.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sebastian, Marcus, Kenny, Zach, Matt. Appreciate all you guys. Here goes the raid on Twitch.
Yeah, cheers,
and
guys.
everybody on YouTube watching, have an awesome day, and thank you very much.